Chapter 1. State of Liang. Fengyang Estate. Heong City, Zhou Estate. Yo, big brother, are you going out? Zhou Fu had just lifted his right foot when a voice stopped him. Zhou Ji was dressed in a bright satin gown with a thumb-sized jade hanging from his belt. He waved the folding fan in his hand and walked over with a mischievous smile on his face. Big brother, your body has just recovered. You have to take it easy when you encounter something. Otherwise, eldest uncle's heart will ache. This direct greeting stunned Zhou Fu. Was this the legendary grudge between the rich and powerful? Zhou Fu glanced at Zhou Ji and yawned. Recuperating requires a good mood. As long as I don't see anything dirty, I'll be in a good mood. As he spoke, he sized up Zhou Ji, afraid that the other party wouldn't understand the meaning behind his words. That's why it's necessary to go out and relax. Who didn't know how to be on my OG? For Zhou Fu, who could suppress Zuan with a keyboard, this was just a joke. He even had some expectations. After all, he hadn't touched the keyboard for 5 days. You. Zhou Ji's hand holding the folding fan began to turn white. His entire body trembled, as if he had cerebral thrombosis. This scene made Zhou Fu sigh. That's it? He had just found the feeling, but it instantly became dull. If he had said a few more words, wouldn't the other party fall to the ground and vomit blood? But, with a flick of his wide sleeve, Zhou Fu snatched the folding fan from the other party and held it in front of him. Oh, endless romance. Not bad, not bad. This fan matches my temperament very well. After casually flipping through it, Zhou Fu was very satisfied. He used to like these little things very much, but he was embarrassingly poor. Now that he had become a rich second generation, how could he let go of such a good opportunity? I didn't expect second brother to come all the way here to give me something. It must be to celebrate my recovery. In that case, big brother really has to thank second brother. Well, big brother, I still have something to do. I'll treat you to a meal next time. Bye. A carriage stopped in front of the door. Zhou Fu laughed and got on the carriage. Tap tap tap, looking at the gradually disappearing carriage, Zhou Ji's chest heaved up and down crazily. His face was as white as a sheet, as if he had just brushed on putty powder. The page boy at the side saw that Zhou Ji's condition was not right and hurriedly went forward. He gently patted Zhou Ji's back with one hand and called out to him. Second young master, please calm down. Phew, bastard. He gnashed his teeth, stomped his feet, and cursed. How dare he steal my fan? I spent 1,000 taels to buy it. At the entrance of the Zhou family, second young master Zhou was so angry that he was trembling all over. Boundless romance? That's just Chong air. Even if you can't read, don't tell me you don't know how to count? After cursing a few times, Zhou Ji's mood eased a little. He stared hatefully in the direction of the carriage. You're lucky that I didn't kill you 5 days ago in the suburbs. The page boy at the side trembled all over and his face turned pale. He hurriedly lowered his voice. Second young master, you can't say this, you can't say it. After being reminded, Zhou Ji also trembled all over and hurriedly looked around. There were only 2 gatekeepers standing 5 steps away. There was not even a shadow anywhere else. He rolled his eyes, kicked the page boy to the ground, and then punched and kicked him. As he beat him, he scolded. Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? I'll beat you to death. In the swaying carriage, Zhou Fu leaned comfortably on the soft cushion and looked at the changing scenery outside the window. His heart was full of emotions. 5 days ago, he was still an ordinary wage earner. After getting drunk, he woke up in a different world. At first, he thought that he had traveled to ancient times. After merging with the memory of the original owner, he was completely stunned. This place had nothing to do with Earth. There was not even a complete map. Jianghu, aristocratic families, clans, and big merchants like the Zhou family were the mainstream of today's society. There were also martial arts here, but the original owner was not interested in it. He didn't even want to understand it. A person who did miscellaneous things had the impression of a person who practiced martial art. This impression lasted until 5 days ago when the original owner was ambushed in the suburbs and his family's guards showed off their might. Only then did he know that martial arts were so powerful. It looks like a low-level martial arts world. According to the plots of the past novels and dramas, as long as martial arts existed, then the world would not be good. Therefore, learning martial arts was very necessary. As for how to learn, this question was really difficult for a fatty who was almost 200 pounds. Young master, we've arrived at Gui Xiang Lu. Zhou Fu looked at the tall and beautiful building outside the window and the young ladies chatting with each other. Oh, young master Zhou, you've come. The blue-robed page boy ran to the side of the carriage with an attentive face and nimbly put down the stool. Gui Xiang Lu, the most unique brothel in Hayang City. Is this a place where a 15-year-old child can come? What kind of evil is this? Can't there be someone to control it? But since I'm already here, right? Young Master Zhou, please come in. Our Miss Yu from Lotus Garden has been talking about you for a few days. Lotus Garden? You air? While in a daze, Zhou Fu found that he was actually walking around the Gui Xiang Lu F***ck. What the hell is going on? Lotus Garden was one of the many courtyards in the Gui Xiang Lu. It was equivalent to a high-class VIP room and had its own courtyard. There was also a small man-made lake. Oh, young Master Zhou, you've finally come. I haven't seen you for a few days and my heart feels empty. Before seeing the person, he heard the voice. The soft voice was like a glutinous rice ball that just came out of the oven. It was sweet and soft. Zhou Fu instantly felt that he had lost a few dozen pounds. Taking 2 quick steps, he entered the room. A white veil came into view. The jade-like skin was faintly discernible under the translucent white veil. The creamy hand was waving a round fan, so young and tender, young and tender? Even if the peach blossom like spring water rippled, it could not stir Zhou Fu's heart. There was no other reason. The other party looked too young. And they were both young. His back straightened, his legs also had strength. The weight of 200 pounds returned to his body. Ignoring the coquettish air, Zhou Fu walked to the side of the table. With a creak, he sat down on the chair. The cushion that was half the thickness of an ordinary person's palm instantly lost its effect. Zhou Fu could feel the hardness of the chair. Serve the dishes, this young master is hungry. Yu looked at the different Zhou Fu in shock. For a moment she did not react. Oh, it is this servant who has been negligent. Tell the kitchen to hurry up. Yes, young Mississippi, Yu one of the 3 most popular girls in the Gui Xiang Lu. During this period of waiting, Zhou Fu drank his tea awkwardly while watching Yu dance. To Zhou Fu, who was the king of whoring in Xiaopa Station, this scene was not worth mentioning. How could the 3 Lolas be as fragrant as big sister Jixin? After drinking a pot of tea, Zhou Fu became even more bored. He felt as if there were nails under his butt. It was as if he was sitting on pins and needles, as if there was a blade on his back, as if, young Master Zhou, do you dislike this servant? The observant Yu had long noticed Zhou Fu's abnormality. She endured it and did not ask. Seeing Zhou Fu's fat body crazily twisting on the chair, she could not bear it any more. At this moment, a heavenly voice came from outside the door. Young master, someone called Bai Lang is looking for you. Quickly invite him in. Chapter 2. Bai Lang greets young Master Zhou. He wore a long white robe and a bright silver belt. His hair was tied up with a green hairband. He had sharp eyebrows, bright eyes, red lips, and white teeth. At first glance, one could tell that he was not a good person. When he saw Bai Lang, Zhou Fu's evaluation instantly appeared in his mind. A flattering smile hung on his face. His eyes rolled around and kept drifting towards Yu. Zhou Fu endured the unhappiness in his heart and pointed to the seat opposite him. Sit. Thank you, young Master Zhou. Hee, then I won't be polite. At this moment, dishes were brought to the table by the maids. The table full of dishes exuded a tempting aroma. After being carefully prepared by the chef, it could be said to be perfect. Gugugu, everyone looked at Bai Lang. I have traveled a long way and am hungry. That, Bai Lang, who was being watched, rubbed his hands awkwardly and stared at the dishes. It's okay. Since Brother Bai is hungry, then let's eat. Zhou Fu looked at Bai Lang with interest. He wanted to know how this person was going to deceive him. Then I won't be polite. After getting Zhou Fu's approval, Bai Lang grabbed his chopsticks and quickly stuffed them into his mouth, as if he had not eaten for many years. Yu, who was sitting next to Zhou Fu, rolled her eyes unceremoniously. However, what made Yu even more uncomfortable was that Zhou Fu was also like a hungry ghost. His hands moved quickly and the dishes on the table disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. Burp. After finishing the meal, Zhou Fu burped happily. He looked at Bai Lang, who had also finished his battle, and asked, May I know why Brother Bai is looking for me? When it came to business, Bai Lang's expression changed and became much more serious. I heard that young Master Zhou was very interested in rare items. May I know if this is true? So he was a scammer who sold things. Zhou Fu instantly understood. Previously, the original owner had said that as long as someone sold rare items, he, young Master Zhou, would buy them. Of course there is. Young Master, please take a look. Bai Lang took out a cloth bag and spread it on the table. Books? Zhou Fu was stunned. He raised his head and looked at Bai Lang. Why did this guy think that he had anything to do with books? Zhang Fei buried flowers? Li Kuei embroidery? This scene suddenly became very strange. However, since he had already said it, he had no choice but to read it. Even if he didn't want it, he still had to put on an act. He reached out and took the two books. Bronze Armor Art and Mountain Breaking Fist. Secret Martial Arts Manuals? Seeing that Zhou Fu had started flipping through the secret manuals, Bai Lang said, I spent a lot of effort to get these two secret manuals. Even now, when I think about the twists and turns, I still can't calm down. Fortunately, with the blessings of the heavens, I managed to return in one piece. Young Master Zhou, don't be fooled by the names of these two books. If you can master them, you can do whatever you want in Heyang City. Walk sideways? Wasn't that a crab? Forget about it. Zhou Fu shook his head and tossed aside the two secret manuals that Bai Lang had praised to the heavens. Young Master Zhou, what are you doing? Bai Lang was stunned when he saw this. He was afraid that Zhou Fu didn't know the importance of these books and hurriedly explained, These are good things that I spent a lot of effort to get. If you can master them, you won't be hurt by swords and blades. And this mountain-breaking fist, after mastering it, you will have the strength of 9 bulls. Breaking stones is not a problem. It can be said that you will die if you hit it and get hurt if you scratch it. His words were hurried and he spoke quickly. It was as if he was using a loudspeaker to sell leather shoes. Seeing that Bai Lang was about to continue, Zhou Fu hurriedly stopped him. Brother Bai, don't be too anxious. Brother Bai, let's not talk about whether you can walk sideways or not. Let's not talk about whether you can die or not. Let's talk about this bronze armor art. It says that you need to hit your whole body with a hard object every day and then apply medicine to your body. You can master it in a year? Obviously, Bai Lang knew about these two martial arts manuals. He nodded and said, That's right, it says so. I have a question. Where does the confusion come from? Hey, this guy was too arrogant, wasn't he? The corner of Zhou Fu's mouth twitched. The confusion comes from your feet. Yu, who was sitting at the side, felt even more uncomfortable. She really wanted to pick up the stool under her and smash it on their faces. These two people should take a good look in the mirror. Are you people who dabble in literature? Why do you look like you've drunk medicine? Zhou Fu's rhetorical question stunned Bai Lang. The corner of his mouth kept twitching. After a while, Bai Lang stiffly squeezed out a smile. Young master, please speak clearly. Let's not talk about whether the martial arts manuals are real or fake. This method of finding someone to hit your body every day, I don't know if it's for me or someone else to practice it. Of course it's for. Bai Lang just blurted out 3 words when he was stunned. That's right, how could Zhou Fu practice this kind of martial arts? As the eldest young master of the Zhou clan, he was born to live a life of luxury. He didn't have to worry about food and clothing, and he didn't lack entertainment. How could such a person abuse himself? But if Zhou Fu didn't like these 2 manuals, then how could he make money? Sizzle, looking at Bai Lang, who was changing his expression, Zhou Fu took a sip of tea happily. While he found it funny, he also sighed. How stupid was Zhou Fu in the past. He could even deceive someone with Bai Lang's level of skill. Putting down the teacup, Zhou Fu glanced and saw Xiao Yu, who was at the side, staring blankly at the 2 manuals on the table. There seemed to be a trace of shock on her face. His heart skipped a beat and he thought to himself, good Lord, this girl doesn't look like a simple person. And these 2 manuals, sigh, I was too rash. After sighing, Bai Lang stood up and reached out to take the 2 manuals. Hee, I just said that Brother Bai was impatient. The situation in front of him reminded Zhou Fu of the days when he was a profiteer in the game. Since Brother Bai is willing to come all the way to Heyang, it means that you think highly of me. Naturally, I won't let Brother Bai waste your efforts for nothing. At this point, Zhou Fu looked at Bai Lang with a faint smile, as if he was saying, your story just now is not bad. Let's just listen to it. Neither of us should take it seriously. Ahem. Bai Lang coughed awkwardly. I wonder what price Brother Bai wants to sell these 2 manuals for? Looking at the 2 manuals on the table, Bai Lang was once again in a dilemma. What price? Naturally, the more the better. Of course, he was only thinking about this in his heart. 1,000 taels? In the end, Bai Lang didn't even have the confidence to say 1,000 taels. Ha, Brother Bai is really humorous. Zhou Fu laughed and didn't care about Bai Lang's price. As the saying went, ask for a sky-high price, and you can ask for money when you're sitting on the ground. Now was the time for him to show his strength. How about this, Brother Bai can take these 200 taels of silver first. Take it as I've made a friend. Of course, if Brother Bai feels that you've suffered a loss, please accept these 200 taels of silver and take these 2 manuals back with you. After speaking, Zhou Fu leaned back, and the chair creaked again. The 2 manuals on the table were indeed martial arts manuals. Although they weren't worth 1,000 taels of silver, they were definitely not something that could be bought with 200 taels of silver. Time passed slowly, and a layer of sweat appeared on Bai Lang's forehead. Finally, he gritted his teeth and replied, Okay, I'll make a friend of young Master Zhou. Chapter 3. Young Master, Master wants you to go to the study. At the gate of the Zhou residence, Zhou Fu, who had just alighted from the carriage, was stopped by a manservant. Master? A plump figure appeared in his mind, a face of riches and honor, always wearing an amiable smile. The manservant brought Zhou Fu to the study, bowed, and left. Zhou Fu took a deep breath, pushed open the door, and entered. You're here. In the bright and spacious study, there was a large maroon desk. Behind the desk sat a figure even rounder than Zhou Fu. This was Zhou Fu's father, the current head of the Zhou clan, Zhou Ducai. He gave a simple reply. In Zhou Fu's memories, he had not interacted much with Zhou Ducai. The relationship between father and son tended to be cold. Are you feeling better? Much better. Bang. Zhou Ducai threw something that looked like an account book on the desk, his plump body leaning forward slightly. Going to a brothel after recovering from a serious illness? My son is truly gifted. That angry and resentful gaze made Zhou Fu want to dig a hole and crawl into it. It was not that he was afraid of Zhou Ducai, but he had seen this gaze before. The air in the study seemed to have become heavier. After a while, Zhou Datsai spoke again. All right, let's forget about this matter. You just stay in the residence for the time being. Zhou Fu heaved a sigh of relief when he heard that. Right, did you steal something from Zhou Ji at the main gate today? Steal? How could it be called stealing between brothers? Zhou Fu was very clear on this point. Of course not. I've always had a good relationship with second brother. I just recovered from a serious illness, so second brother gave me a gift. Besides, I don't lack money. Why would I steal second brother's things? Hey, you two have a good relationship? Zhou Datsai seemed to have discovered something interesting, or perhaps Zhou Fu's shamelessness was shining. In short, the smile on Zhou Datsai's face was very strange, with a mixture of speechlessness and gratification. All right, it's just a fan. Let me have a look. Yes, this is the one. Zhou Fu pulled out a folding fan from his waist, took 2 steps forward and handed it to Zhou Datsai. Voila! He unfolded his fan. Endless wind and moon? Looking at the inscription on the fan, Zhou Datsai furrowed his brows before relaxing them. Ha 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 ha, boundless romance. That Zhou Ji is an idiot. What the hell does he know about romance? Looks like this matter of learning is not fated with second brother's family. Although he didn't know how Zhou Fu was related to romance and knowledge, Zhou Datsai was happy to see him. Closing the folding fan, Zhou Datsai tossed it over. In the future, I'll give you an extra 1,000 taels of silver every month. If you want it, go and buy it. Don't think about other people's things. It's like I'm cheating you. Get lost. Another 1,000 taels every month. When this beautiful voice entered his ears, Zhou Fu even thought that he was hallucinating. One had to know that the purchasing power of 1 tael of silver was equivalent to 100 yuan. Zhou Fu's previous monthly expenses were already 1,500 taels of silver. Good heavens, was this the happiness of the second generation? It wasn't until he walked out of the courtyard and looked at the azure sky that Zhou Fu recovered. This wasn't a king hallucination. Pocket money of 250,000 yuan every month. What a rich man! Was this the happiness of a rich man? I seem to have felt it. He returned to his residence in a state of euphoria. It wasn't until he finished 2 large pots of tea that he came back to his senses. Tsk. The power of money is really too great. I'm completely dazed. Zhou Fu, who was lying in the chair, sighed. He had only experienced this feeling of not having any worries when he was drunk. He didn't even dare to think about it in reality. This wonderful feeling lasted for a while. Zhou Fu felt the boredom of a rich man. Out of boredom, he took out the secret martial arts manual that he had bought from Bai Lang. As a cultured person who had just been praised by his father, he still had to read book. The Art of Bronze Armor. It's similar to the Golden Bell Shield and Iron Shirt. After flipping through it, Zhou Fu roughly guessed the principle of this technique. To put it bluntly, it was to continuously improve one's resistance to attack. At the same time, it was supplemented with medicinal wine to promote blood circulation and improve one's physique and body's toughness. Otherwise, the cultivator could easily be beaten to death. Damn, the core medicinal wine only has half a recipe. This Bai Lang is not a good person. Without the full recipe of the medicinal wine, the Art of Bronze Armor was like a chicken rib. It was tasteless, but it was a pity to throw it away. However, just as Zhou Fu put down the Art of Bronze Armor, a heavenly voice sounded. Dang! Dang, 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 welcome to the assistance of the Flying Celestial. With the assistance of the Flying Celestial, you can break the limits of martial arts and easily dominate the entire server. Respected permanent VIP member, I am your most loyal companion on your path to godhood. Before coming here, Zhou Fu was addicted to wuxia and cultivation-type games. However, the settings of the martial arts levels in these games made him suffer. He either had to spend money or die. As such, Zhou Fu gritted his teeth and spent a huge sum of money to customize a cheat, Flying Celestial. With the assistance of the Flying Celestial, he could infinitely increase the level of martial arts and even break the limits of his profession. As long as it was a martial art, he could cultivate it. This made Zhou Fu, who was holding a bowl of instant noodles with red eyes, exclaim that it was worth it. What the heck? Flying Celestial. I didn't expect it to be a Flying Celestial. Excited. His little heart thumped against his thick chest, and the fat on his chubby face could not stop trembling. Ding. Detected martial arts secret manuals, art of bronze armor and mountain breaking fist. Will you cultivate them? A familiar interface appeared in the air, and 2 yellow martial arts secret manuals appeared in the list. There was a big plus sign at the end of each manual. Zhou Fu was very familiar with this. Level up. Ding. Art of bronze armor leveled up by 1 level. Following the system's clear notification, Zhou Fu felt the flesh on his body tremble. Hot. Sore. The 2 feelings intertwined, and it made Zhou Fu feel like he was having a massage in a sauna. Is this the feeling of cultivation? Why does it feel like I'm in a gym? Continue leveling up. Zhou Fu, who had tasted the sweetness of cultivation, gritted his teeth and leveled up Art of Bronze Armor to the 10th level. Where's the plus sign? After leveling up to the 10th level, the plus sign disappeared and was replaced by a countdown clock. It showed 9 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. What the heck? This thing has a cooldown? This time, Zhou Fu was dumbfounded. When he was playing the game, there was no such restriction. However, just as Zhou Fu was about to delve deeper into it, a wave of heat surged out of his body. In the blink of an eye, he felt as if he had fallen into a furnace. What was even worse was that he could not even move a finger. His skin quickly turned red, and a large amount of sweat, oil, and light brown impurities flowed out of his body. The temperature continued to rise, and the flowing sweat turned into brown marks, covering him layer by layer. Damn it! I'm going to die. Every time he breathed, Zhou Fu felt like he was breathing fire. After an unknown amount of time, Zhou Fu's body temperature gradually subsided, and he once again regained control of his body. He suddenly turned around, grabbed the kettle, and gulped down the tea, letting the tea that he did not have time to swallow splash all over his body. Huff, huff. That felt good. I'm alive. His body quickly returned to normal, and a smooth feeling came from the surface of his body. There was also a pungent smell that went into his nose. Come, boil the water. I want to take a bath. Chapter 4. The next day, Zhou Fu, who usually slept until late in the morning, woke up early and practiced the mountain-breaking fist in his courtyard. He didn't do this because he had become more motivated, but because he had been tricked by the Fairy Realm's assistants once. Yesterday, when he was bathing, Zhou Fu upgraded the mountain-breaking fist to level 10 in one go, and the Fairy Realm's assistance was also evaluated as a small success. Just when Zhou Fu thought that he was going to take off, he was shocked to find that he didn't know the mountain-breaking fist. After studying it for a while, he came to a conclusion. Using the Fairy Realm's assistance to upgrade martial arts techniques wouldn't directly affect his body, but it would deepen his memory and understanding of this martial art. After coming to a conclusion, Zhou Fu practiced once in the courtyard, and the assistant's interface also changed. The area that was originally under cooldown time was now under the attribute of proficiency. At that moment, a wave of sour pleasure rushed from his crotch to his brain. 0/1000. This was killing him. Did he have to practice 1,000 times before he could continue to level up? As the old saying went, an arm couldn't win against a leg. After being depressed for a while, Zhou Fu obediently practiced in the courtyard. The set of the fist technique required the participation of the whole body, and it took a lot of time to complete the entire set. From dawn to dawn, Zhou Fu used about 2 hours to practice the fist technique. However, He was depressed to find that his proficiency had only increased by a dozen points, and at that moment, his legs were already trembling. "I'm so tired. Is this something a human should do?" Zhou Fu cursed and walked to the side to rest. He reached out and grabbed the kettle with cold water in it, then raised his head and drank. The tea that he didn't have time to swallow flowed down and spilled on his chest that had obviously shrunk, giving him a hint of coolness. After drinking the water, Zhou Fu breathed out comfortably. The improvement of the bronze armor art yesterday had improved his physique quite a bit, which was why he was able to support his stamina. Otherwise, he would have collapsed from exhaustion. Young master, master wants you to go to his place." A servant in green stood at the entrance of the courtyard and shouted. What was going on? Again? Got it, Zhou Fu replied reluctantly. He reached out to grab the clothes on the chair, threw them over his shoulder, and strode out of the door. The manservant standing at the door seemed to be dumbfounded. He stared blankly at the approaching Zhou Fu, even forgetting to step back. Bang! Ouch! I deserve to die, I deserve to die. Zhou Fu was also stunned. Looking at the servant who was sent flying by him, he opened his mouth but didn't know what to say. The manservant grimaced in pain as he got up from the ground and hurriedly led the way. Is this the feeling of power? An indescribable emotion surged in Zhou Fu's heart. Even the swaying fat on his body seemed to exude a sense of power. In the study, Zhou Datsai suddenly realized that today's Zhou Fu had changed a lot compared to yesterday. He was stunned for a moment, but he didn't delve into it. I called you here today because there's something for you to do. You're not young anymore. It's not right for you to idle around all day. There's a business in the family that needs you to familiarize yourself with. Speaking of business, Zhou Datsai's tone was a little strange. Even his eyes began to flicker. Zhou Fu, who was standing there listening to the lecture, was stunned. Take over the business? His family actually wanted him, a idle playboy, to take over the business? Was this the boldness of King Big Family? Weren't they afraid of losing money? What business? Zhou Datsai's lips curled up slightly. The gambling house, Heng Yun Gambling House. After coming out of the study, Zhou Fu was completely stunned. He actually wanted him to take care of the gambling house? He was even the head of the company. It was like King joke. But looking at his father's attitude, it didn't seem like a joke. Just like this, he returned to his courtyard gloomily. Young master, where are we going to relax today? Zhou Fu raised his head and saw that the person who spoke was his coachman, Lu Er. A man in his 20s, lean, with a flattering smile on his face. If such a person was placed in a TV series, he would be a proper villain. Seeing that Zhou Fu didn't respond, Lu Er continued, Young master, why don't we go to the same old place to listen to music? That way you won't be upset. His words were sincere and his tone was sincere. With such a young talent by Zhou Fu's side, he didn't have to worry about his hedonistic career. Although he knew that Lu Er wouldn't take him to a proper place, his words simply touched Zhou Fu's heart. If you encountered something that didn't go your way, you should put it aside first. After a while, you'll forget about it. Zhou Fu chuckled. Prepare the carriage. Lu Er grinned. Okay, I'll go right away. The carriage swayed, making people sleepy. In the carriage, Zhou Fu leaned against the soft cushion and closed his eyes. Bang! The carriage shook violently, and Zhou Fu instantly woke up. Young master, not good, the carriage is broken. Broken? After getting off the carriage, Zhou Fu looked at Lu Er, who had a bitter expression. What happened? Lu Er's face was gloomy as he pointed at the crack on the shaft. Young master, the carriage is broken. It looks like it won't be repaired in a short time. Looking at the broken shaft, Zhou Fu's eyes narrowed and his breathing quickened. He found that there was a smooth crack where the shaft was broken. How did it break? Lu Er didn't notice Zhou Fu's expression and said, It looks like it's been in disrepair for a long time. Disrepair for a long time? Disrepair for a long time? Damn, this place is dangerous. I have to leave as soon as possible. Lu Er seemed to know what Zhou Fu was thinking and said, Young master, this place isn't far from Cinnamon Fragrance Restaurant. After leaving the alley, we'll reach it after 2 turns. After Lu Er's reminder, Zhou Fu suddenly realized that this wasn't a main street, but a remote alley. The alley was quite spacious, just enough for 2 carriages to walk side by side. Following Lu Er's arm, Zhou Fu saw Cinnamon Fragrance Restaurant. It really wasn't far, and he could walk there in the time it took to drink a cup of tea. He slowly took a breath and calmed himself down. Got it. When we get back, remember to teach the person in charge of the carriage a lesson. He actually made me walk, damn it. Young master, don't worry. I'll remember it in my heart and whip the person in charge when we get back. Zhou Fu nodded, turned around, and walked out of the carriage. After turning the corner, he hurriedly quickened his pace and rushed towards the place where the voices came from. His speed was so fast that the fat on his body shook up and down. Bang, bang, bang. His thick body weight hit the stone floor with his feet, creating a series of sounds. Go straight. Turn. The voices on the street became clearer and clearer, and Zhou Fu's heart slowly fell to the ground. After another turn, Zhou Fu could even confirm that there was only one alley between here and the main street. Yo, isn't this young Master Zhou? Why are you in such a hurry? 2 figures with masks and wooden sticks in their hands blocked Zhou Fu's path. Hew, the rapid running made Zhou Fu gasp for breath. He looked at the 2 people blocking his way, and his heart was shocked and angry. In his previous life, he grew up in a legal environment. He had never been in a fight since he was a child, let alone a scene like this. Although he practiced martial arts, his heart was still very flustered. Since young Master Zhou is so tired, let the brothers serve you well. Chapter 5. The 2 men saw Zhou Fu's timid expression. They seemed to have seen this expression many times. With a grin, they swung the wooden sticks in their hands and smashed towards Zhou Fu's face. Young Master Zhou, please bear with us. Although they said they would bear with him, they did not hesitate at all. Woo, the wooden stick made a low whining sound in the air. Although it did not fall, Zhou Fu's body instantly had a layer of goosebumps. Die. Die. The 2 wooden sticks blocked Zhou Fu's path. At this moment, he was like a rabbit that was forced to a dead end. He wanted to escape, but he could not find a way. His mind was completely blank. Bang bang. Ah. Ah. Zhou Fu closed his eyes and let out 2 shrill screams. After a few breaths, the expected pain did not come. He slowly opened his eyes and let out a puzzled cry. Then he saw the 2 people opposite him looking at him in confusion. What's going on? F***CK. I don't believe this. The person standing on the right of Zhou Fu shouted angrily. The wooden stick in his hand slammed into Zhou Fu's shoulder. A shocking scene appeared again. After the wooden stick hit Zhou Fu's body, it was like hitting a rubber ball and was suddenly bounced up. This scene was deeply imprinted in Zhou Fu's heart. The original look of horror on his face was gradually replaced by a smile. The more he smiled, the more arrogant he became. Is this what martial arts is like? This is King's strength. At this moment, he recalled the Tank Alliance in the canyon. They were rampaging and fearless. Are the 2 of you done playing? It's my turn. Zhou Fu grinned. He wanted to vent all the fright he had just received. Roar. He roared on the spot, tilted his body, and rushed towards the person in front of him with his right shoulder facing forward. Collision. Collision. Boom. With the support of the art of bronze armor, not everyone could withstand the charge of a 200 kilograms body. The person who was still swinging the baton was slammed into the wall by Zhou Fu. The sound of bones breaking could be heard clearly in the alley, and the wall seemed to shake. Cough cough. After that strike, Zhou Fu felt a little stuffy in his chest. Clearly, he had used too much strength. Bang! The man who had been knocked into the wall by Zhou Fu fell to the ground. At this moment, he could not even make a sound. This heart-wrenching scene left the other person dumbfounded until Zhou Fu looked at him. Ghost! The man threw away the wooden stick in his hand, turned around and ran. Huff huff, Zhou Fu stood where he was, panting. He did not chase after that person. Previously, he had been extremely nervous. Now that he had relaxed, his feet felt like they were floating. Is this power? Looking at the man on the ground again, Zhou Fu grinned and turned to leave. Young Master Zhou? The servant at Sweet Fragrance Brothel looked at the sweaty fatty in front of him. If it wasn't for his chubby body and the jade tag on his waist, he wouldn't have dared to go up and greet him. Zhou Fu waved his hand. Go prepare a set of clothes for me. Boil the water for my bath. Also, prepare the food. I will eat after my bath. Although Zhou Fu didn't have any money on him, but in Haiyang City, no one was worried that Zhou Fu would go back on his words. All right, please come in. It's still the Lotus Court. The servant smiled. He was experienced and knowledgeable. He didn't ask what happened to Zhou Fu. He just needed to do what he was supposed to do. When they arrived at the Lotus Court, Yu was also shocked to see Zhou Fu in such a sorry state. But when she heard the servant's words, her face darkened. This fatty Zhou was getting out of hand. Last time, he treated her place as a restaurant. This time, he wanted to take a bath. If it wasn't for the fact that the Zhou family was really rich, she would have hit him. After taking a bath, Zhou Fu walked out in his white underwear. Yu looked at Zhou Fu curiously and exclaimed, Young Master Zhou, you have lost a lot of weight. Although these words were false, which little fatty who was in the weight loss period could refuse. Hee, that's true. My family gave me some things to do recently, so I've been busy. Hearing this, Yu faintly rolled her eyes. This damned fatty actually took advantage of the situation, and still had the face to continue talking. Could it be that he didn't hear the screams from the chair below him? Zhou Fu, who was sitting in the chair, frowned. His right shoulder was sore. His heart skipped a beat. Could it be that he was injured just now? With this thought, Zhou Fu couldn't stay calm anymore. As a person who cherished his life, how could he tolerate being injured? Do you have any Dita wine here? Dita wine. This request was very novel. Yu looked at Zhou Fu curiously. Young Master Zhou, are you injured? I'm not sure. It's just that my shoulder feels uncomfortable. Zhou Fu mumbled and then tore open his shirt. His white fat was exposed. This shocking scene fell into Yu's eyes. She was dumbfounded and her face instantly turned red. Young Master Zhou doesn't care about trifles. How could there be such a person? He took off his clothes without saying anything clearly. Shameless. Lecher. Rogue. The sound of gnashing teeth made Zhou Fu a little confused. He didn't care about trifles? When he saw Yu's red face, he suddenly realized that this girl was shy. Ha 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 ha, Miss Yu, feel free to look. I won't feel like I'm at a disadvantage. Can you help me take a look at my shoulder? Is it red and swollen? These shameless words opened Yu's eyes. Not to mention meeting such a person, even a storyteller wouldn't dare to say such a thing in his story. Her big eyes, which used to be filled with spring light and autumn water, were now round and round. She didn't feel good. Miss Yu? Miss Yu, are you all right? A few shouts made Yu come back to her senses. She took a deep breath and suppressed the urge to kill. She responded with a fake smile on her face. I'll take a look at young Master Zhou. With light steps, Yu walked to Zhou Fu's back. The ridicule in her heart surged again. Red and swollen? His skin was so white and tender that it was almost comparable to hers. This was. Yu suddenly widened her eyes and looked at Zhou Fu's back in disbelief. She reached out and touched it. Hey! The white pile of flesh trembled. Zhou Fu suddenly jumped up from the chair. He looked at Yu in horror. A layer of goosebumps appeared on his body. This girl was plotting against him? Boys must protect themselves. Yu looked at Zhou Fu, who was hurriedly putting on his clothes, with a complicated expression. She hesitated for a moment and asked, "Has young Master Zhou mastered the art of bronze armor?" This sentence made Zhou Fu's expression change. His heart beat rapidly. "Who exactly are you?" Seeing Zhou Fu's expression change, Yu smiled and said, "Young Master Zhou, don't panic. I'm not a bad person." How could Zhou Fu believe these words? This was often seen in TV dramas. People who could say such words were definitely not good people. Yu looked at Zhou Fu with surprise. She clicked her tongue in wonder and said, "I really misjudged you. I didn't expect young Master Zhou to be a martial arts genius. I wonder if I have the honor of getting to know you again?" Chapter 6. At the dining table, Yu held her pink cheeks as her eyes roamed over Zhou Fu's body. Zhou Fu, who was wolfing down his food, couldn't accept such a beauty's grace. This made him feel as if he was sitting on pins and needles. His hands moved quickly, and he couldn't care less about the taste of the dishes as he frantically shoved them into his mouth. Bang! A clean bowl of rice was placed on the table, and Zhou Fu swallowed the food in his mouth. "I say, Miss Yu, can you stop looking at me? I'm just an ordinary person." "Ordinary person? Huh. Young Master Zhou, don't you have high standards for ordinary people?" Rolling her eyes at Zhou Fu, Yu stretched out a white finger and poked Zhou Fu's arm. Her young face was full of curiosity. "I heard that those who walk the path of external cultivation have to work hard and endure for a year to see result. You're just an ordinary person, aren't you cultivating a little too fast?" It wasn't just fast, it was simply abnormal. Ever since she found out that Zhou Fu was successful in his cultivation, Yu stopped pretending. At this moment, she was curled up in the chair with her chin on her knees. A few strands of black hair floated mischievously on her face. Her previously rippling eyes were twinkling like stars, as if she was a child who had found a new toy. This quiet and beautiful scene made Zhou Fu's heart skip a beat. He thought to himself, "Is this the Lolita de Fa? It's so terrifying." "Are you thinking of something bad?" The crisp voice had a trace of coldness which made Zhou Fu quiver. In order not to lose himself, he recalled the goddess of the D-disc. She had long legs and a big S-figure. No. How could he say such things out loud? He, Zhou Fu, was innocent. "Humph. You wouldn't dare. By the way, have you mastered the mountain-breaking fist?" No. The little Lolita snorted in dissatisfaction and suddenly stood up from the chair. Zhou Fu was stunned. Before he could speak, he felt his wrist tighten. His vision blurred and a force entered his body. After a moment of dizziness, he found himself standing on a platform in the room. This stage was the place where Yu usually sang. A white figure flashed, and the sound of clothes fluttering in the wind could be heard. Zhou Fu turned his head to look. At this moment, Yu had already returned to her chair, but her dress was still fluttering. Clearly, him being able to stand here was Yu's doing. F***ck. This little loli was so powerful. He was 100 kilograms, but he was actually carried by a little loli. It was too terrifying. "Hurry up, show me the mountain-breaking fist." With a clear shout, the little loli took advantage of the moment when Zhou Fu turned around to catch her breath. She didn't expect Zhou Fu to be so fat that she almost couldn't carry him. In the face of someone stronger than him, the first thing he had to do was to cooperate. At the very least, he wouldn't get beaten up. Zhou Fu was very clear about this. As the fist technique was displayed bit by bit, Yu's expression changed from anticipation to astonishment, and finally disappointment. Okay, don't fight anymore. I feel uncomfortable just watching." Looking at the well-behaved Zhou Fu on the stage, Yu covered her forehead and said, "Young Master Zhou, come and sit. I was too impulsive." Thank you, Monsieur." After Zhou Fu sat down, he opened his mouth and prepared to leave. He felt that it was too dangerous here, and it was better to go home. However, Yor spoke first. That's not right. You have already mastered the bronze armor art. A mountain-breaking fist shouldn't be at this level. She looked at him suspiciously again. You aren't playing with me, right? No, no. Zhou Fu quickly shook his head. With Miss Yu-er's cultivation, you should be able to tell that I didn't do it on purpose. I really don't know that fist technique. At this point, Zhou Fu was very thankful for the help of the flying immortal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to explain. After listening to Zhou Fu's explanation, Yu-er thought for a while, but she didn't have any clue. She could only give up. Seeing that the little lowly wasn't going to pursue the matter, Zhou Fu quickly stood up and said, Well, Miss Yu-er, it's getting late. I'll go back first. Goodbye. His fat body nimbly went around the table and walked out of the living room in a few steps. A few more steps, and he would be out of the door. Young master, please wait. The crisp voice was like a spell that froze Zhou Fu in place, not daring to act rashly. It's still early. Why don't you sit down and have a cup of tea? Drink tea? Zhou Fu curled his lips in his heart. Other people needed money to drink tea, but drinking tea here would cost him his life. Damn it, whoever visits a brothel in the future would be a fool. Seeing that Zhou Fu had returned to his seat, Yu-er smiled and said, Young Master Zhou, it was my fault just now. Yu-er will apologize to you. Have a cup of tea and calm down. Please don't lower yourself to my level. Hee, Miss Yu-er is too polite. You are too polite. He trembled as he took the teacup and gulped it down. This comical look made Yu-er laugh out loud. Young Master Zhou seems to be very afraid of me? Zhou Fu quickly shook his head. No, huh? The crisp voice suddenly increased in pitch, scaring Zhou Fu. Yes, huh? Still not satisfied. At this moment, Zhou Fu's brain was spinning rapidly. He kept searching through his past experiences on Tieba, Weibo, and Jihu. He was searching for posts about how to coax a girl when she's angry and what to do when your girlfriend is angry. After thinking for a long time, there wasn't a single useful answer. Zhou Fu's face instantly fell. Ha. So interesting. The little lowly hugged her stomach and let out a string of bell-like laughter. However, this laughter was rather ear-piercing to Zhou Fu. After a while, the little lowly stopped. She patted Zhou Fu's shoulder and said, All right, little fatty, don't be afraid. I don't eat people. Zhou Fu was depressed when he heard this. The little lass in front of him had actually become a big sister. However, she didn't act like a big sister at all. Yes, just a little bit. Little fatty, let's make a deal. Zhou Fu looked at Yu-er strangely. Make a deal with him? Yu-er stood up and walked to the bed. She searched for a while and took out a small booklet from nowhere. Then, she returned to the table. Here Big Sister also has a secret manual. How about I sell it to you? Eternal Spring Force? Zhou Fu looked at the secret manual in front of him and read out the name. Yes, Eternal Spring Force. After cultivating it, it can strengthen the body and cure diseases. How about it? Do you want it? Zhou Fu was in a difficult position. This lass in front of him was too strange. Her thoughts were unpredictable. So, should he take this secret manual or not? As time passed, the smile on Yu-er's face gradually disappeared. How about it, little fatty? Do you want it or not? There was a trace of anger in her voice. Zhou Fu knew that he couldn't delay any longer. He took a deep breath and said, I want it. I wonder what price Miss Yu-er is willing to sell it for? Yu-er thought for a while and the corner of her mouth curled up slightly. I also want 1,000 taels. How about that? Regarding this question, Zhou Fu didn't even think about it and directly answered, I'll get the servants to send the money over later. No need, Yu-er leaned on the soft cushion with a trace of laziness in her expression. Just bring it over the next time you come. Zhou Fu smiled bitterly. Next time? There would be a next time? Why? You're not willing? I'm willing. I'm very grateful to Miss Yu-er. That's more like it. You can leave. Goodbye. Chapter 7. Zhou Mansion, Study Room. Master, the young master's carriage was tampered with and was left in a small alley. In the end, the young master went to Sweet Fragrance restaurant alone and was attacked by two hoodlums. The person who spoke was the Zhou Mansion's housekeeper, Old Ma. He was also one of Zhou Datsai's confidants. Sweet Fragrance restaurant again. Zhou Datsai rubbed his head. That little bastard doesn't know how to restrain himself. Is that place really that attractive? There was no way to respond to that. The room fell silent. After a while, Zhou Datsai asked again, was the little bastard injured? No. Old Ma's expression was strange. Not only was he not injured, he almost killed a hoodlum. Ah! Zhou Datsai looked at Old Ma in shock. Did I not hear clearly or did you remember incorrectly? Master didn't hear incorrectly. Master Wang personally checked. There was a middle-aged man sitting in the study room. His face was strong and his eyes were bright. His clothes were bulging with muscles and he looked especially fierce. This person was the Zhou family's master, Wang Feng. Hearing the housekeeper mention him, Wang Feng nodded. I went to take a look. That person broke 5 of his ribs. If he isn't treated properly, he won't last a month. Hiss, Zhou Datsai sucked in a breath of cold air. He didn't think that his chubby son would have such ability. Consecrator Wang, is there anything wrong with Fu Er? No, there isn't. No. Wang Feng shook his head. But I saw the young master practicing a fist technique. It's a fist technique from the underworld called mountain-breaking fist. Oh. Zhou Datsai's eyes lit up. Do you know who taught it to Fu Er? Old Ma said, I know a bit about this. Yesterday, the young master met someone called Bai Lang. He sold 2 books to the first young master. One was the bronze armor technique, and the other was the mountain-breaking fist. Bronze armor technique and mountain-breaking fist. Wang Feng was shocked. Zhou Datsai looked at Wang Feng and asked, Master Wang, is there something wrong with this? These 2 techniques seem to be from the body refining hall. However, the body refining hall has been destroyed for over 10 years. Wang Feng pondered for a moment before continuing, perhaps they are techniques that were passed down from the past. Body refining hall? Zhou Datsai repeated. He frowned and asked, did something happen? More than 10 years have passed, so there shouldn't be any problems. Zhou Datsai pondered for a while before he looked at Wang Feng and said, Exalted Wang, can I trouble you to take a look at that brat? If possible, please give him some pointers. Then this old man will go and see young master. Thank you. On the other side, Zhou Datsai's younger brother, Zhou Diyun, was also having a headache. Were you the one who attacked Zhou Fu? Zhou Ji, who had his head lowered, trembled all over. He replied in a small voice, Yes, father. Bang. Zhou Diyun slammed his palm on the table, causing the teacups to clatter. Is your brain full of shit? That's your cousin. It's your uncle's eldest son. It's also our Zhou clan's young master. The words young master pierced Zhou Ji's heart like a sharp sword. He bit his lips and gripped the corner of his clothes tightly. His fingers were so white that it was frightening. He was unwilling to accept this. In his impression, Zhou Fu was just a hedonistic son. He didn't do anything and still had so much money every month. He, Zhou Ji, was also the young master of the Zhou clan, but his monthly expenses were only 500 taels of silver. Moreover, since young, no matter what good things were, they were always used by Zhou Fu. Therefore, he hated and was furious. Based on what? Based on the fact that Zhou Fu was the young master of the Zhou clan? Zhou Diyun, who had been staring at Zhou Ji, was furious. Especially when he saw Zhou Ji's appearance, he raised his hand and slapped him. But the crisp sound of the slap echoed in the room. The force of the slap sent Zhou Ji to the ground. Bastard! Look at what you've become. You have a fierce look on your face. Do you want to fight with your own family? Father! Zhou Ji, who was lying on the ground, suddenly stood up and stared at Zhou Diyun with red eyes. He held his red and swollen cheek and said in disbelief, "You actually hit me?" Zhou Diyun's heart felt stifled at his mournful appearance. He opened his mouth but couldn't say anything. "You've never hit me since I was young. Now you actually hit me for an outsider." Zhou Diyun's heart trembled at his resentful words. "Outsider? That's elder cousin. We're connected by blood. How can you say that he's an outsider?" "He is an outsider," Zhou Ji roared and interrupted Zhou Diyun's words. "Since young, I was better than Zhou Fu in studies. I was better than him in work. I was better than him in everything. What right does he have to use better things than me? Everything is better than me. You always told me to avoid him and give in to him in everything. What right does he have? Am I, Zhou Ji, not the young master of the Zhou clan? I'm clearly better and stronger than him. What right does he have to use the best things and I'm inferior to him?" Zhou Diyun looked at his own child in disbelief. He didn't expect Zhou Ji to have such a deep prejudice in his heart. You've always thought this way? Why can't I think this way? Don't tell me I can't even think about it?" Zhou Diyun painfully closed his eyes. 2 streams of tears flowed down his cheek. "You're doing this for this reason? Isn't this enough? Fighting with your own family will lead to endless disasters." The Zhou family, seeing that his own father was still protecting the Zhou family in every possible way, Zhou Ji's heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. His scalp felt like it was being pulled, and his body became numb. F***ck the Zhou family. That's your Zhou family, not mine. Before he finished speaking, Zhou Ji turned and ran. Looking at Zhou Ji's disappearing figure, Zhou Diyun seemed to have lost all his strength and sat weakly on the chair. After a long silence, he said in a strange tone, "Child, are you willing to be a father? After your uncle took over, he used only half a year to control everything in the Zhou family. He even increased the Zhou family's wealth by several times. This ability is not something your father can do." Back in Hayong City, the 4 medicinal herb merchants kept each other in check. Who still remembers them now? At this moment, in the study of the Zhou family's first master and second master, a sentence sounded at the same time: "Don't do anything stupid." After returning from Cinnamon Fragrance Brothel, Zhou Fu raised the eternal spring energy to level 10. The fiery feeling once again tempered his body, causing his wide and fat body to shrink. He could even feel the toughness of his muscles on his arms. This feels great. This kind of passive martial arts is still the most comfortable to cultivate. It's strong in the later stages and easy to level up. I can become stronger just by lying down. It's so great. After sighing, he turned his gaze to the mountain-breaking fist. The pitiful dozen or so points of proficiency were incomparably dazzling. He could even feel his liver trembling. "Sigh, it's still early. Time to work." The sigh turned into a lament. Zhou Fu reluctantly walked to the empty space. He pulled himself together and began the long task of grinding proficiency point. At the entrance of the courtyard, the Zhou family's consecrator, Wang Feng, stood quietly. He looked at the fat body moving around in the courtyard and sighed with emotion. As time passed, he saw Zhou Fu's other shining points. He could endure hardships and endure loneliness. These were qualities that all experts must have. What a good child. It's a pity that he's a little old. Otherwise, if he was sent to, his achievements would be limitless. What a pity, what a pity! Chapter 8. The sun set in the west and the laurel rose in the sky. Zhou Fu had already set up a brazier in his small courtyard. Under the flickering flames, one could see that his clothes were soaked in sweat. However, his eyes were still firm and each of his fists and steps were as steady as before. Wang Feng, who was standing at the door, went from admiration to shock and then to numbness. Today, Zhou Fu gave him too much stimulation. Not only did he have a terrifying will and stamina, but he also improved the mountain-breaking fist every time. Young master, take a rest. You need to know when to relax or you will harm yourself. When he saw that Zhou Fu was about to do it again, he hurriedly stopped him. Hearing someone shout, Zhou Fu turned around. Oh, it's him. It's the guard who showed off his might in his memories. You are Wang Feng, Zhou family's consecrator. Uncle Feng, please sit. Young master, you don't need to be so polite. After sitting down, Zhou Fu thanked him again. Uncle Feng, thank you for your help a few days ago, otherwise. Zhou Fu was talking about the day he transmigrated and the original owner was attacked in the suburbs. Young master is too polite. As the Zhou family's consecrator, this is my duty. After thanking him, Zhou Fu awkwardly rubbed his hands. He wanted to get some information about the pugilistic world from Wang Feng, but he didn't know where to start. Wang Feng drank a mouthful of water unhurriedly. He had a good grasp of how a senior should act. He wasn't going overboard. After all, he was the Zhou family's consecrator, not their servant. Eldest young master, this old man saw you practicing the mountain-breaking fist just now? I'm not afraid of you asking, I'm afraid you won't ask. Hearing the other party speak, Zhou Fu nodded and said, Yes, it is the mountain-breaking fist. I wonder if this old man can take a look at the manual of the mountain-breaking fist? Of course. Uncle Feng, please wait a moment. I'll go get it now. In Jianghu, it was a taboo to ask to see someone else's secret manual. However, mountain-breaking fist was a common kung fu, and Zhou Fu was a person who had been baptized by the explosion of information. He did not have many taboos about such things. Zhang Xian retrieved the secret manual from the room and handed it over to Wang Feng. When he received the manual, Wang Feng had been paying attention to Zhou Fu's expression. When he saw that there was nothing strange about Zhou Fu, his evaluation of Zhou Fu increased once more. The manual was very thin, and it didn't take him long to finish flipping through it. The fist techniques in this book have a few more variations than those on the market. Everything else is still normal. On the market? Zhou Fu was stunned when he heard this. What did he mean? Did he treat the assembly line product as a treasure? Ha 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 ha, young master, don't be angry. You're not from the Jianghu, so you don't know what's going on. Mountain-breaking fist is widely spread in the martial arts world. Even the boxers in the dojos on the streets know it. It's over. It's really an assembly line product, a mass-produced product from the contemporary bookstore. However, everyone's understanding of the mountain-breaking fist is different. Therefore, every dojo has its own unique variations. In my opinion, the book in young master's hand is still good. These words made Zhou Fu feel refreshed. This mountain-breaking fist focuses more on the foundation. If you practice it for a long time, it can improve your aptitude and increase your strength and speed. It's just that your movement technique is a bit lacking. Zhou Fu didn't care about this. He was already pleasantly surprised when he heard that this book could increase his aptitude, strength, and attack speed. If the opening technique could reach this level, why would he need a bicycle? Moreover, he had bronze armor art and eternal spring force. With this, he could both defend and attack. It was perfect. As for movement techniques, he could just find another manual in the future. Speaking of movement techniques, he instantly thought of sweet Osmanthus Pavilion's Yu. Although the lass had a weird temper, she seemed easy to fool. Thank you, Uncle Feng. As long as there's no problem with this technique, I'm just casually practicing it. These words made Wang Feng's head hurt. You call practicing for 4 hours casually? Are all the youngsters nowadays so ruthless? May I know why young master suddenly became obsessed with martial arts? Nonsense. With the support in my hands, why wouldn't I practice martial arts? Zhou Fu cursed in his heart. However, he said, if it wasn't for Uncle Feng, I would have died outside the city. After waking up, I became determined to practice martial arts. I don't seek to injure others, but I seek to protect myself. Great. Wang Feng slapped the armrest of the chair. He was so excited that his body trembled. What a great don't seek to injure others, but seek to protect yourself. Young master is truly benevolent. This is the blessing of the pugilistic world. Zhou Fu was frightened by Wang Feng's attitude. He didn't understand why Wang Feng was so excited. It was just a casual remark. Why did this person take it seriously? If one didn't practice martial arts to beat others, then it was meaningless. However, Zhou Fu didn't dare to say this out loud. He felt that Wang Feng could kill him with one slap. The middle-aged Wang Feng was excited for a while. When he looked at Zhou Fu, the satisfaction in his eyes almost overflowed. It scared Zhou Fu so much that goosebumps appeared on his back. This old man also has a cultivation technique. This young master can take a look at it when you're free. If there's anything you don't understand, you can come to the hall of worship to find me. Damn! There's such a good thing? Zhou Fu stared at Wang Feng. He didn't even bother to decline. He muttered in his heart, "Come, I want to be passive rolling stone palm." The moment Zhou Fu saw the secret manual, he felt that his liver was in trouble. What the F***ck, this was another move. Do you still want me to live? Wang Feng looked at the secret manual with a complicated expression and said, "This palm technique is much more exquisite than the mountain-shattering fist. After learning it, the strength in your body will be like a rolling stone. It's not something the mountain-shattering fist can compare to. Also, this palm technique can produce earth strength when practiced to a certain depth." Zhou Fu was fascinated by Wang Feng's words. He suddenly realized that Wang Feng wasn't speaking anymore. Ha ha ha, I've said too much. Damn. This old man is really annoying. He only spoke halfway. After putting down the secret manual, Wang Feng's eyes narrowed. A heavy aura was emitted from his body. It pressed down on Zhou Fu's chest. This palm technique is only for you to practice. It's not for you to go out and fight. It can't be taught to outsiders. These words shocked Zhou Fu. It was fine if he only spoke halfway, but the technique he gave him couldn't be used to fight. Was there something wrong with this old man's head? Uncle Feng, don't worry. I'll remember it. Although he was unhappy, he had to answer nicely. And that's good. Wang Feng nodded. When you fight, you can continue to use the mountain-shattering fist. These two techniques don't conflict with each other. I'll remember it. Alright, it's getting late. This old man won't stay any longer. Uncle Feng, take care. Chapter 9. The next day, when the sun had just risen, Zhou Fu walked out of his room. What woke him up that day was not the dream of getting skillful points, but the fact that he was not sleepy. Could it be that leveling up martial arts gives me this benefit? Zhou Fu, who was just about to be happy, suddenly had a flash of inspiration, and a terrifying thought appeared in his mind. Was this a disguised way for him to work overtime? In this world where there were no phones, no internet, and no computers, what else could he do other than get skillful points? Now that he had seen through something, the truth had been discovered. The half-smile on his face instantly disappeared, and at the same time, he felt the pain of having to work overtime. He walked out of his room with complicated feelings, and a burst of hearty laughter greeted him. Ha 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 ha. I knew you were a hard-working child. He looked up and saw a wooden stake in the yard. It looked like a boxing target, and beside it stood Wang Feng, the Zhou family's servant. Uncle Feng, what are you doing? When Wang Feng saw Zhou Fu walk closer, he smiled and nodded. He pointed at the wooden frame beside him and said, "Yesterday, I saw that you only knew how to hide your head, but did you know that these moves are dead and people are alive? No matter how skilled you are in your moves, people will still dodge them. So, after thinking about it, I decided to give you a boxing stance today." "Thank you, Uncle Feng." "Ha ha ha ha, you don't have to be so courteous with me. Come, I'll show you the moves of rolling stone palm. Watch carefully." Right after he finished speaking, Wang Feng pulled open his stance and attacked the boxing stance. Crackling sounds could be heard, and the powerful force caused the ground to tremble slightly. Looking at Wang Feng's movements, Zhou Fu's eyes sparkled. He realized that as long as the moves were on point, the speed did not matter. Time passed by slowly, and he finished executing the moves and force execution of Rolling Stone Palm. "Boy, I've finished one round. Come and try it." After the demonstration, Wang Feng walked to the side and looked at Zhou Fu with bright eyes. "Uncle Feng, I'll embarrass myself." Swing. Kick. The moves of Rolling Stone Palm were executed by Zhou Fu, and each move landed on the wooden stake. His movements weren't fast, but they were steady. Zhou Fu didn't make any of the mistakes that newbies often made, such as not being able to extend his arms or not having enough strength. Wang Feng, who was observing from the side, felt his heart rise and fall. His eyes were filled with joy and regret. Bang! The wooden stake shook. Zhou Fu stopped and stood up. He hurriedly brought up the support interface. The proficiency of Rolling Stone Palm had increased by 2 points. Illusion? No, it really increased by 2 points. A wonderful and blissful feeling instantly spread in Zhou Fu's heart. This feeling was too good. This is AF * King great tool for grinding proficiency. Why didn't I think of it back then? The door to a new world had been opened, and Zhou Fu was very excited. "Brat, don't be happy too early. Your moves are still too rusty. The strength and speed of your attacks are too slow. You must not be arrogant and complacent." When Wang Feng saw the smile on Zhou Fu's face, he scolded in a deep voice. "Uncle Feng, don't worry. I understand." "That's good. Continue training. If there's anything you don't understand, come and ask me." "Yes, Uncle Feng. Take care." After leaving the courtyard, Wang Feng rushed back to his room and closed the door. He took out a painting from the cabinet and unfolded it. It was the portrait of a middle-aged man wearing a long robe. He hung the portrait on the wall and placed an incense burner in front of it. Wang Feng knelt down in front of the incense. "Master." Unfilial disciple Wang Feng kowtows. "Awesome, this is too awesome. If I knew it would be like this, Mountain Breaking Fist wouldn't only have a dozen points of proficiency." Zhou Fu mumbled as he ate his breakfast. He was very impulsive. In the 2 hours after Wang Feng left, he had increased his proficiency of Rolling Stone Palm to 40 points. If he calculated it this way, he would only need a few days to get 1,000 points. Zhou Fu, who was in a good mood, ate quickly. He wanted to get the proficiency of both martial arts to 3 digits today. "Young master, master has ordered you to go to Heng Yun gambling house today." Zhou Mansion's head butler Old Ma stood at the entrance of the courtyard and said, "Now." Zhou Fu was unhappy that his plan had been interrupted. "You can wait for a while, but don't take too long. Heng Yun Gambling House's manager Liao has already prepared everything. He's just waiting for you." Zhou Fu did not object to Zhou Datsai's arrangements. After all his money was given to him by his father. "All right, I'll pack up. We'll leave now." "All right, bring this thing with you." Old Ma was stunned when he saw the wooden stake Zhou Fu was pointing at. He quickly replied, "Young master, don't worry. I'll make the arrangements." Heng Yun Gambling House was quite far from Zhou Mansion. The carriage only arrived after an hour. "Young master, we're here." Old Ma woke up Zhou Fu, who was sleeping soundly. He pointed at the tall and imposing building outside and said, "This is the gambling house. Heng Yun Gambling House." There was a plaque hanging on the tall and imposing entrance. There were 4 big golden words on it. To Zhou Fu's surprise, there was a Zhou and a deficit written side by side on the plaque. If one were to follow the order from left to right, Qi would be in front and Zhou would be behind. "Butler Ma, what's this deficit all about?" Old Ma grinned and said, "Qi represents the Red Sea Gang." "Young master, you'll find out later. Look, Manager Liao is here. Let's go down." A few people walked out of the gambling house. The leader was a tall and thin middle-aged man in a dark golden robe. He looked serious, but he was smiling. Liaohuan greets eldest young master and butler Ma. The middle-aged man bowed to Zhou Fu and then to old Ma. Young master, this is manager Liao of Heng Yun Gambling House. After the introduction, old Ma gave a subtle look, indicating that Liaohuan was one of them and also Zhou Datsai's confidant. Zhou Fu nodded in understanding. He stepped forward and said, Manager Liao is too polite. You don't have to be so polite. Young master, you can talk to Manager Liao if you need anything. I'll go back first. Take care, Butler Ma. After old Ma left, Liaohuan said, Young master, let me take you to familiarize yourself with the environment here. He had received a letter from the Zhou residence before Zhou Fu had come. Although he was very puzzled as to why Zhou Fu, this hedonistic son of a rich family who did not know the ways of the world, was in charge, he was not the least bit vague about Zhou Datsai's arrangements. No need. Zhou Fu directly refused. What a joke. For him, the most important thing now was to practice. Didn't they see that he had brought the wooden stakes? What do you mean, young master? This reaction made Liaohuan a little confused. Logically speaking, when a playboy was managing a gambling house, shouldn't the first thing he did be playing? Why does this guy look so uninterested? Zhou Fu shook his head and said, Manager Liao is an old man here. You don't have to worry about me. It was impossible for him to work. It was impossible for him to work in this life. Don't even think about it. Otherwise, his identity as a rich second generation would be in vain. Prepare a spacious yard for me. Put the wooden stakes I brought. Prepare vegetables, meat, and warm water for bathing. Leave 2 people to serve me. He was embarrassed by Zhou Fu's request. After all, Zhou Datsai didn't arrange it like this. Seeing Liaohuan's hesitation, he raised the corner of his mouth and said, Since I'm in charge here, listen to me. Go. Yes. Chapter 10. Heng Yun Casino was a huge building with 3 5-story wooden buildings. There were also more than a dozen independent courtyards arranged in a row. Liaohuan brought Zhou Fu to the depths of the casino. He chose the quietest place and arranged for 2 maids and a manservant to serve him. After everything was arranged, Liaohuan was about to bid farewell to Zhou Fu at the entrance of the courtyard when 5 people came from the side. The leader was a sturdy middle-aged man. Judging from his appearance, he wasn't younger than Wang Feng, but his physique was bigger than Wang Feng's. His black clothes were pushed up by his towering muscles, making him look quite ferocious. Oh, if it isn't Manager Liao! Seeing the person, Liaohuan's expression changed. He bowed slightly and said, Liaohuan greets Hall Master Tai. Then he turned to Zhou Fu and introduced, Young Master, this is Hall Master Tai of the Red Sea Gang, Iron Tiger. In the underworld, he is known as the Soul-Severing Saber. Ha 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 ha, what soul-severing saber? It's just a rumor. Don't take it seriously. Iron Tiger laughed and waved his hand indifferently. He looked at Zhou Fu and asked, And this is? Oh, this is the eldest son of my family's master, Zhou Fu. Zhou Fu cupped his hands towards Iron Tiger and said, Junior Zhou Fu greets Hall Master Tai. Iron Tiger was surprised and said with a smile, Young Master Zhou is too polite. Are you here to play today? This sentence made Liaohuan frown. He had told Iron Tiger that Zhou Fu was coming. Now it seemed that he was here to cause trouble. Before Zhou Fu could speak, Liaohuan explained, Hall Master Tai, you misunderstood. My young master is here to manage things. Hearing this, Iron Tiger didn't feel anything, but the expressions of the 4 people behind him suddenly changed. They looked a little angry. Manager Liao, you're exaggerating. I'm just here to see the world. Don't put me on a pedestal, ha 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 ha. Zhou Fu didn't want to take over this mess. The Iron Tiger in front of him didn't look like a good person, so it was better to be a coward. Come to think of it, he wasn't here to fight for power and profit. He just wanted to level up and gain proficiency and then go out to see the world. Iron Tiger was very surprised by Zhou Fu's answer. According to the rumors, Zhou Fu was a standard hedonistic son of rich parents, and his temperament was unpredictable. Now that he had met her, she seemed to be a little different from the rumors. It could be said that there was no relationship at all. Iron Tiger laughed and changed the topic. This old man still has some things to deal with, so I won't stay any longer. Goodbye. After the few people left, Liaohuan said softly, Young master, Iron Tiger is the hall master of the Red Sea Gang. He and his subordinates are all vicious people. It's best if you don't provoke them. Zhou Fu nodded, then asked, Manager Liao, who is this Red Sea Gang? This. If young master wants to know, it's better to ask master. It seemed that it was impossible to get information from Manager Liao, so he said, All right, then I'll go rest first. Manager Liao, please go ahead. Hall Master, what do you think this Zhou Ducai means? He actually let his good-for-nothing son manage the casino? Can't you see what he means? Iron Tiger threw a piece of meat into his mouth and sneered. I heard that Zhou Ducai isn't having a good time recently. A batch of important goods has been robbed, and some people are getting restless. I guess he's letting his only son hide from the disaster. What? This fatty Zhou! This Zhou Ducai has guts. In an instant the room was in an uproar. Tai Hu's followers were arguing angrily. Shut up! What are you arguing about? The chaotic noise made Iron Tiger irritated. Hall Master, we can't just be the mother of a little bastard. That's right, that's right. If that little fatty Zhou causes trouble again, won't we have to clean up his mess? No, make him get lost. That's right. Make him get lost. Bang! Iron Tiger slapped the table, and the room instantly quieted down. All of you, shut up. He looked at his 4 trusted aides, 2 of whom were his nephews, with resentment for their failure to live up to his expectations. It's all because of you. His words made them puzzled. Us? How can we be involved in this? Why? A powerful aura rushed out of Iron Tiger's body, and the 4 people were shocked and broke out in cold sweat. This fierce and solid aura made them feel like a bloody knife in front of them. How many benefits did you get from the casino, openly and secretly? The 4 people's faces turned pale, and their legs went soft, and they all knelt down. Do you think Fatty Zhou's benefits can be taken casually? A bunch of good-for-nothings. Hall Master, what should we do? Are we just going to be the mother of little Fatty Zhou? Although he was in the wrong, Iron Tiger didn't want to find a job for himself. He pondered for a while and then looked up and said, That's easy. Since Fatty Zhou didn't say it clearly, we don't have to help that kid. The 4 people in the room looked at each other, and they all saw the confusion in each other's eyes. Then are we going to take care of it or not? Good-for-nothings. Are your brains filled with cat piss? I told you to learn more, but none of you lived up to my expectations. Looking at the awkward smiles on their faces, Iron Tiger felt a headache coming. If these people weren't obedient and loyal, they would have already left. They saw that Iron Tiger didn't speak, so they carefully asked, Hall Master, please give us a straightforward answer. Sigh. Iron Tiger sighed. As long as it's in the casino, we will take care of it. Once it's half a step out of the casino, we won't care. Wonderful. Hall Master is the Hall Master. Wise. That's right. The atmosphere in the room became lively again, but Iron Tiger's expression was very uncomfortable, as if he was constipated. After living in the small courtyard, everything outside had nothing to do with Zhou Fu. Here, he was the nominal manager of the Zhou family. Except for the power of the Red Sea Gang, everyone else had to listen to his orders. When the old manager, Liaohuan, saw that Zhou Fu was cultivating like his life depended on it, he had someone open a door near the small courtyard's kitchen and sent a special cook to wait for orders at any time. Zhou Fu saw all of this, and he was very satisfied, especially when he was provided with medicinal cuisine during meals. Manager Liao is really worthy of being called an elder of the Zhou family. He's so King meticulous. Liaohuan, who was standing to the side, smiled when he heard this. Although he didn't know what meticulous meant, he could tell from Zhou Fu's expression that he was praising him. Young master, you flatter me. This is what I should do. Liaohuan said very flattering words. Coupled with his temperament, he seemed to have the demeanor of a high-class manager. He was much better than his previous lackey coachman. The difference was like heaven and earth. However, since the last incident, his coachman had disappeared. He didn't ask much, and it was most likely that his father had taken care of him. Seeing that Zhou Fu had finished eating, Liaohuan asked, "Young master, do you have any plans for the afternoon?" According to the rules of the gambling house industry, business began in the afternoon and reached its peak in the evening. As the manager of the Zhou family, Zhou Fu should go and patrol. However, for Zhou Fu, who had made up his mind to never go to work, it was impossible for him to patrol. Plans? Oh yes. Liaohuan's expression became serious, and he quietly waited for orders. I won't close the courtyard's door. Remember not to let anyone disturb me. After sending away Liaohuan, Zhou Fu stood in front of the wooden stake in the courtyard. He looked at the proficiency on the attribute board and grinned. Strength is the foundation of my standing. Bang bang. The sound of hitting the wooden stake sounded again. Chapter 11. Bam. Iron Tiger placed a bowl with a little soup on the table. He wiped his mouth and asked casually, "How's the little fatty from the Zhou family yesterday?" "Hall master, that little fatty is still practicing." "Still practicing?" After Zhou Fu came yesterday, Iron Tiger had people secretly keep an eye on him. On one hand, it was to see what kind of person Zhou Fu was. On the other hand, it was to protect him. After all, Zhou Fu had placed his only son here. If something really happened to him, it would be hard for him to explain. Yes, that little fatty went to bed yesterday at midnight. He woke up before dawn this morning. Iron Tiger scratched his head. He woke up before dawn? Went to pee? Laughter rang out in the room. No, he's practicing. He's been eating all this time. Iron Tiger was dumbfounded. Are you sure? I'm sure. The courtyard door wasn't closed. Many people saw it. Damn it, who spread the news that this little fatty is a playboy? If he's a playboy, wouldn't the others be banging their heads against the wall? The surrounding people were instantly unhappy, especially Iron Tiger's 4 bodyguards. Hall master, you're wrong. I also went to see. The boxing he practiced was the ordinary kind. Which one of our brothers isn't better than him? Yes, it's very ordinary. Other things aside, I was already better than him when I first joined the sect. Yes. Looking at his bodyguard's unconvinced expressions, Iron Tiger didn't say anything. He also felt that this was the first day. Perhaps Zhou Fu would give up tomorrow. As the saying goes, there's no smoke without fire. The news of Zhou Fu being a playboy had been circulating for a long time, so it shouldn't be fake. He decided to observe him a little longer. The next day breakfast. Iron Tiger just put down his bowl and asked, "How was today?" "Hall master, it was the same as yesterday. He went to bed at midnight and woke up before dawn. According to my estimation, he slept for more than 4 hours. The originally lively atmosphere instantly quieted down. Everyone looked at the sect member who spoke. Iron Tiger asked in a strange tone, "Did he practice with the wooden stakes the whole day yesterday?" "Hall master is wise. I have indeed practiced for an entire day." Whoosh, the quiet atmosphere was instantly broken. Impossible. It must be fake. Yes, it can't be true. That little fatty is at least 200 pounds. How could he have such good stamina? That's right. Even if he really cultivated for the whole day yesterday, it's impossible for him to wake up so early today. Even Tai, who thought so, as the bodyguards spoke with certainty. I wouldn't dare to speak carelessly. That manager Liao even sent a lot of medicinal wine over and found a few girls. Miss? The people in the room immediately grasped the main point. That's right. I knew that little fatty wasn't a good person. It's only been a day, and he's already showing his true colors. Yes, yes. His true colors have been revealed. At this moment, Iron Tiger didn't know why, but he actually felt relieved. Those girls went to apply medicinal wine for the little fatty. The room became quiet again. Everyone looked at the person who spoke with resentment. People who only spoke halfway were asking for a beating. Iron Tiger stared at the rice bowl in his hand and pondered for a moment before saying, "Eat. We'll see tomorrow." Yes. Another day. Early morning. Iron Tiger led his 4 guards to stand outside Zhou Fu's courtyard. Through the open door, they looked at the little fatty who was sweating on the wooden stake. At this time, the little fatty didn't look bloated. Instead, he gave off a strong feeling. Amidst the rhythmic beating, one of the guards muttered, "Damn, this little fatty is really going all out. Even if he's pretending, he shouldn't be doing this. Don't call him little fatty. If this gets out, people will say that the Red Sea Gang has no rules. From now on, call me Young Master Zhou." The guards looked at each other and said in unison, "Yes." They stood outside the door and watched for a while before turning to leave. The 4th day, the 5th day, the 6th day, the 7th day, the 8th day, the 9th day. Oh my God! This young Master Zhou is a monster in human skin, right? I've never heard of anyone with such good stamina. Yeah, it's too scary. I've calculated. Young Master Zhou spends 6 hours a day resting and eating. The rest of his time is spent on cultivation. Iron Tiger looked at the figure with admiration in his heart. But when he spoke, there was some regret in his tone. What a pity. Such a good child. If he had a mid-level chi circulation technique, his future would be limitless. Sigh, what a pity. Through his observations over the past few days, he found that Zhou Fu cultivated 2 techniques. One was an unknown palm technique, which was considered mid-level. The other was a fist technique, which was the ordinary, mountain-breaking fist. Hall Master, what do you think if young Master Zhou came to our Red Sea Gang and cultivated the Red Sea art? These guards who originally looked down on Zhou Fu had changed their attitude over the past few days. Sigh, Iron Tiger shook his head. If it was a few years ago, it would be fine. But now, his achievements are limited. The guard who spoke before was unconvinced. It's still better than cultivating these external techniques. This is good fortune. Let's go, let's walk around. Looking at Iron Tiger's back, the guards looked at each other. They could see the helplessness in each other's eyes. They sighed and hurriedly followed. Ha! Zhou Fu stepped and flipped. His body spun in the air. His right hand drew an arc and smashed onto the top of the wooden pile with a bang. Boom! The wooden pile was suddenly lowered by 3 centimeters. Huff! Zhou Fu exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Damn, it's finally full. On the support page, the proficiency of Rolling Stone Palm and Mountain Breaking Fist had been filled. The cooldowns of Bronze Armor Art and Eternal Spring Energy had also been refreshed. A row of plus symbols appeared that made him excited. Men, prepare some hot water. Yes. Zhou Fu's entire body was soaked in a wooden tub filled with warm water. There was also a bag of medicine in the tub. It was filled with herbs that he had asked the doctor to prepare. It was good for promoting blood circulation and removing blood stasis. Which should I level up first, Bronze Armor Art or Eternal Spring Energy? These 2 cultivation methods would strengthen one's physique, but they focused on different things. Bronze Armor Art would strengthen the skin and increase the toughness of the skin. On the other hand, Eternal Spring Energy would strengthen the bones and increase the vitality. Forget it, I'll level up Eternal Spring Energy first. Level up. In midair, Zhou Fu madly pressed the plus symbol until it disappeared. Eternal Spring Energy has been successfully leveled up. Current level, 20. Advance. Zhou Fu, who was in the tub, took a deep breath and slowly reached out his hand to grab the edge of the tub. Here it comes. Zhou Fu's eyes flashed as a stream of heat flowed out from his body. Boom! The stream of heat suddenly grew and turned into a stream of fire, emitting a scorching heat as it flowed through Zhou Fu's body. Ugh, the stream of heat was just an appetizer. Following that, a stream of energy surged through his muscles. It was like a farmer plowing the land, tearing apart his original muscles and growing them into even tougher and thicker muscles. Crack! The edge of the tub was torn apart by Zhou Fu's claw, but it was useless. The pain was still there. It was as if there were small snakes swimming under his skin. It was a horrifying sight. Chapter 12. F***CK. F***CK. The intense pain rendered Zhou Fu speechless. He could only spit out a few words intermittently. He didn't dare to shout out loud. He could only grit his teeth and bear with the pain. As time passed, the pain slowly disappeared. Zhou Fu leaned against the wooden barrel with a pale face. Huff, huff. This is stronger than the last time. After the pain disappeared completely, Zhou Fu let out a long sigh of relief. He raised his arm and straightened it. Originally, there was still a lot of fat at the intersection of the upper arm and shoulder. Now that he straightened it, the sagging feeling was gone. From his elbow to his shoulder, there were obvious traces of muscle. F***CK worth it. Feeling the strength in his body, Zhou Fu was quite satisfied. This made him feel smug for a while. F***CK. Is this cooldown time a joke? Opening the support page, Zhou Fu, who was preparing to upgrade bronze armor art, cursed. The cooldown time appeared behind the Eternal Spring Force. This time, it wasn't 10 days but 30 days. Your AF** King support. Back then, I spent 5,000 yuan to buy a customized version. Zhou Fu was very dissatisfied. The previous 10-day cooldown time was fine. After all, it was good to have a buffer time to adapt. But now it was too much. The cooldown time was almost a month. What was the difference between him and those geniuses? He was a cheat. The cold support didn't respond. It was as if it was saying, use it if you want, don't use it if you don't want it. F***CK. The products in the client's market are so shameless. Willful. The complaint was to no avail. No, there was no way to complain at all. Zhou Fu could only accept the overbearing terms. Although others would kill him if they knew about this, he didn't feel that he was wrong. This was the self-cultivation of a cheat. Upgrade. Pa 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 pa. The yellow symbol trembled violently. Then, with a bang, it turned into light spots and disappeared. Bronze armor art has been successfully upgraded. Current level, 20. Advance. The familiar feeling appeared again. But this time, it was very different from the upgrade of Eternal Spring Force. Eternal Spring Force was from the inside out. This bronze armor art was from the outside in. Oh, a numb, itchy, and swollen feeling appeared all over his body, from the outside to the inside, from the skin to the muscles, and then to the bones. It was as if 10,000 insects were gnawing on him. Zhou Fu's eyes widened. He resisted the urge to roar out loud, but his teeth kept chattering. Cool. Zhou Fu, who was just about to swear, felt his tongue twitch and saliva flowed out. The upgrade and modification continued. Gray filth appeared on his skin again. It was discharged from his pores along with oil and floated on the surface of the water. After the pain subsided, Zhou Fu noticed the changes on the surface of the water. However, he had no choice but to pay attention to it. The smell of the water was very strong. It was as sour as the dirt under one's toenails that had not been washed for a long time. Whoosh! Fatty Zhou turned over and got out of the bathtub. He picked up the wooden bucket beside him and washed his body. Whoosh whoosh! After several large buckets of water, Zhou Fu exhaled. The next second, he looked at the floating filth in the bathtub with uncertainty. Can this thing be seen by the servants? Definitely not. It must be destroyed. I'm not afraid of being smashed to pieces. I want to keep my innocence in the world. Boom. Zhou Fu punched the bathtub. The huge force exploded in an instant, and the thick tub wall broke into several pieces with a bang. Boom boom. Zhou Fu, who was afraid of not cleaning up, kicked out again. The originally solid bathtub completely fell apart. Looking at the bathtub water all over the floor, Zhou Fu's face showed a smile. That's right. Let the servants clean it up. Young master, are you okay? Young master, we're coming in. The noise in the room alarmed the people outside, and they anxiously knocked on the door. I'm fine. Grabbing the bathrobe hanging on the side screen and putting it on, Zhou Fu opened the door and said, You guys clean up inside and give me a new bathtub. Zhou Fu sat in the yard, drinking tea, in a daze. Of course, in the eyes of others, he was in a daze, but in reality, he was looking at the support interface. Rolling stone palm leveled up. Mountain breaking fist leveled up. Rolling stone palm leveled up successfully. Current level, advanced, proficiency, 0/5000. Mountain breaking fist leveled up successfully. Current level, advanced, proficiency, 0/5000. A large amount of memories appeared in Zhou Fu's mind, and the understanding of the two martial arts lingered in his mind. There were many things that he didn't understand before, but now he understood in an instant. This feeling made him feel very comfortable, as if he had taken a bath for his spirit. Young master, are you okay? Liao Huan rushed into the yard after hearing the news. When he saw Zhou Fu calmly sitting on the chair and drinking tea, he breathed a sigh of relief. Young master, it's my fault. I'll go arrange a new bathtub for you later. It's fine. Zhou Fu shook his head. He didn't like to push the blame, and this matter wasn't a big deal to him. Wasn't it just breaking a bathtub? Was it a big deal? That bathtub was broken by me. These words made Liao Huan stunned, and his brain almost couldn't process it. But fortunately, his decades of experience as a casino manager made him react quickly. Oh, I understand. Young master doesn't like bathtubs. I'll arrange for someone to make you a spacious bathtub. Zhou Fu looked at Liao Huan in astonishment and praised in his heart. This is King executive. This thinking, this reaction speed, normal people can't even see his taillights. Young master, do you have any other requests? Yes, I do. The bathtub should be able to drain water directly. Drain water? Liao Huan frowned, and then he had a flash of inspiration. Young master wants to wash his body, right? Okay, I'll go arrange it now. It can be done tonight. If young master doesn't have anything else, I'll go down first. Go. Until Liao Huan left, Zhou Fu was still lamenting. No wonder I couldn't climb up in the past. The gap is so big. Forget it, I'll just be an honest rich second generation. After this upgrade, Zhou Fu wanted to give himself a vacation. In this life, other than the present, there was poetry and the future. For example, I haven't been home for a few days. I'll go back and take a look. After that, I'll go to Cinnamon House. Men, prepare the car. I want to go back. 2 hours later, Zhou Fu came to his father's study. You're back? Zhou Dutsai was about to grin, but his smile suddenly froze, and he became serious again. I heard you're practicing martial arts all day long and don't care about anything else? Yes. Of course, he had to admit what he did. Moreover, his gains today were so great that he felt like he was floating in the air. I asked you to learn how to manage things, but you only know how to slack off and play tricks all day long. How could that be? Zhou Fu said with a smile. This shows that Manager Liao's ability is outstanding, and also shows that father has good taste. Zhou Dutsai stared at Zhou Fu for a long time, as if he had discovered something strange. You actually know how to flatter. That's not easy, but this isn't a reason for you to slack off. Reason? Zhou Fu raised the corner of his mouth. How can you say that I'm slacking off? Didn't I go to manage things? What did you manage? Can't I manage Manager Liao? If you like it, please add it. Thank you for your support. Chapter 13. After the father and son had an unpleasant conversation in the study, Zhou Fu happily rolled back to his small courtyard. As soon as he stepped into the courtyard, a loud laughter sounded. Ha 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 ha, I thought you went to the casino and forgot your home. I was about to catch you. Zhou Fu stared blankly for a moment before he smiled and said, How could I? Ever since I received Uncle Feng's guidance, I've been busy cultivating. Now that I've made some progress, I came back to find you. Hearing Zhou Fu's words, Wang Feng sneered in his heart. What could Zhou Fu do in 10 days? At most, he would be able to connect his movements. To put it more accurately, he would be able to connect his fists and feet and find the feeling of practicing martial arts. Otherwise, what else could he do? In 10 days, he could train to the point where his strength came from his feet and his will came from his heart. Although he thought so, he couldn't discourage his child's enthusiasm. His arrogance could be suppressed, but the results still needed to be praised. Hearing Zhou Fu say this, Wang Feng directly said, Since you've learned something, then let this old man see. Okay. He walked to the courtyard and stood still. Before he raised his hand, the technique of rolling stone palm appeared in his mind. He raised his hand and kicked, and his strength flowed. He felt that his palm was at least 3 times stronger than before, and this was when he wasn't familiar with the state after the breakthrough. If he was familiar with it, it would double. Just as Zhou Fu's palm shot out, Wang Feng, who was sitting on the chair, opened his eyes wide. This is... His heart that had been beating for decades began to race, and his blood rushed to his cheeks. Huff huff, his undulating chest showed how excited Wang Feng was. Is there really such a genius in this world? Strength comes from the feet, will comes from the heart. This is the rolling stone palm that has reached a higher level. Wang Feng's eyes stared at Zhou Fu's figure, and his lips trembled because of excessive excitement. My God, 10 days! 10 days! The situation before him had completely overturned Wang Feng's understanding. Even when he was still in the sect, he had only heard that there were some geniuses in the world who cultivated extremely quickly. But until now, he had only seen Zhou Fu. Uncle Feng? Uncle Feng? Once he finished demonstrating rolling stone palm, Zhou Fu noticed that Wang Feng was staring at him in a daze, as if he had lost his soul. His eyes were blank, his mouth was slightly agape, and he did not move at all. Zhou Fu was startled by her appearance. She looked like she had Alzheimer's. He hurriedly called out her name softly. After shouting more than 10 times, Wang Feng slowly snapped out of his daze and looked at Zhou Fu with a strange gaze. Have you really never learned rolling stone palm before? After hearing what the other party said, Zhou Fu relaxed. It turned out that the other party had been intimidated by him. He, Uncle Feng, am I a genius? Genius my ass. Hurry up and tell me, did you learn rolling stone palm? Uncle Feng, it's not right for you to say that. It's not like you don't know what I was like back then. That makes sense. Wang Feng instantly stopped doubting Zhou Fu. Could be said that he had watched Zhou Fu grow up, and he knew very well what this little fatty was like back then. This little fatty? No. Why isn't he fat anymore? Wang Feng widened his eyes again and sized up Zhou Fu, whose body had changed greatly, just like what happened to Zhou Datsai earlier. Where's the fat on your body? Zhou Fu was instantly unhappy. Why is it this again? What's wrong with being fat? Can't a fatty counterattack? It's just that my counterattack speed is a bit faster. Is this bit of speed a problem for a hack? Uncle Feng, it's not like you don't know my persistence. This bit of fat on my body isn't enough for me to lose weight. When he thought about how fierce Zhou Fu had been a few days ago, Wang Feng nodded in agreement. Since he was a genius, it was easier for him to accept the matter of losing weight. By the way, Uncle Feng, the results of my training have been pretty good, right? Wang Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. This isn't just pretty good, I'm almost going to heaven. Although he thought this in his heart, he definitely couldn't say it out loud. After all, Zhou Fu looked like he was going to heaven. Oh, it's alright. Compared to me back then, you're still lacking. You have to continue working hard. Perhaps because Wang Feng was an honest person, he was still stuttering when he spoke such beginner-level lies. Then, Uncle Feng, do you have any rewards? For example, give me another cultivation technique or something. You brat, Wang Feng shook his head. Although you've improved, your starting point is too low. It's better for you to focus on your current cultivation. Moreover, this rolling stone palm isn't as simple as you think. You have to know that for a cultivation technique to go from beginner to small mastery, you have to reach advanced mastery. After that, there are two more realms, large mastery and perfection. The first three realms can be reached through hard work, but the last two realms can't be reached without talent and opportunity. These words instantly piqued Zhou Fu's interest. However, he was only interested in the names of the realms. As for how to break through the realms, was that something he should consider? Seeing Zhou Fu listening attentively, Wang Feng felt satisfied. No matter how much of a genius you are, aren't you still taught by me? The large mastery and perfection realms are extremely terrifying. You can make a cultivation technique completely yours. Moreover, the power you can unleash is not something the first three realms can achieve. Especially after perfection, the rolling stone palm will begin to condense the energy. That punch will be the condensation of the entire body's strength. It's abnormally terrifying. After that, Wang Feng blabbered on, telling Zhou Fu to continue working hard and not get carried away. There would be good things in the future, but they weren't things that could be given to you right now. Looking at Wang Feng's back as he hurriedly left, Zhou Fu shook his head. Sigh, why is this old man so stingy? He's so excited, but he doesn't show anything. A gray figure shuttled through the Zhou mansion. The sound of clothes fluttering in the wind could be heard. Wang Feng, who was extremely excited, didn't even walk through the door. He tapped his feet and directly jumped over the wall. Pung! Pung! With the first sound, Wang Feng knocked open the door. Then, without even turning his head, he threw out a palm strike. A gust of wind blew the door shut. Voila! A painting was flipped open in the air. With a flick of his wrist, a gentle force carried the painting and hung it on the wall. Right now, Wang Feng's 40-50 years old face was filled with the excitement of a young man. Put on, put on, put on, put on. Kneeling in front of the painting, he respectfully kowtowed 3 times. His eyes sparkled as he looked at the painting. Master, our humble peak has a bright future. Zhou Fu rested at home for a while. The boring atmosphere engulfed him once again. Forget it, I'll go and see that little girl and see if I can get anything good out of her. After making up his mind, Zhou Fu asked someone to bring over a horse. It was a little mare with a gentle personality. It was maroon in color and had greasy hair. It looked very likable. I've decided on you. Jumping onto the horse, he lightly shook the reins and the little mare slowly moved forward. It wasn't fast, but it was very stable. Zhou Fu liked this feeling. It was as if he was strolling alone in the afternoon sun. Oh, isn't this young Master Zhou? It's been a few days since I last saw you. You've lost so much weight. Chapter 14. Immortal Restaurant, the biggest restaurant in the south of Hayang City. A normal table of dishes would cost 10 silvers, so everyone who came here had some status. On the 3rd floor, Zhou Fu looked at the 2 people beside him with a pained expression. These 2 were the original owner's friends, and their families were in the business. They were the young master of Huang Jia, Huang Haoyun, and the young master of the Lu family, Lu Tong. Young Master Zhou, I heard that you are now the manager of Hingyun Casino? Lu Tong asked. Although the main business was auctioning, they were also in the business of pawning. Since ancient times, the relationship between gambling and pawning was very close, so when he heard that Zhou Fu was in charge of Hingyun Casino, he wanted to visit. Oh? Is that so? Huang Haoyun was also very interested. Although these people were famous playboys, none of them were idiot. When Huang Haoyun heard the news, his first reaction was to find a way to get benefits from it. This was also because of his family's environment and daily education. Ha ha ha, you're exaggerating. I'm not a manager, I'm just going to take a look. Lu Tong's eyes flashed, and the smile on his face became gentler and friendlier. This is really good news. If young Master Zhou has something good, please don't forget about me. I won't let young Master Zhou lose out. Before Zhou Fu came, he thought that these playboys were having a meal, but he didn't expect that they would talk about business. But he didn't know how to talk about business. Don't worry, based on our friendship, I'll remember this. Everyone present knew this, but Lu Tong didn't want to give up on Zhou Fu. After all, no one in this world didn't want to have more money. Also, the competition between auction houses was very fierce. If he could find another way, his family's chances of winning would increase. Then I'll thank young Master Zhou. Oh right, even if it's something that can't be seen in public, we won't reject it. Good guy. Zhou Fu's heart skipped a beat. He didn't dare to think too deeply about it. There were many things that couldn't be exposed in the gambling house, and each of them was stained with blood. Young Master Lu, this Zhou will remember your words. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so let's put aside our business for now. Come, let's eat. Right. It's my fault. Today, I'll treat you. Come, eat. Ha ha ha, Brother Lu is generous. After a round of toasting, and under the influence of alcohol, the relationship between the few of them deepened. After 3 rounds of wine and 5 dishes, Huang Haoyun suddenly said mysteriously, "Gentlemen, I obtained something good a few days ago." Lu Tong's eyes lit up. What is it? Tell me about it. I got a bolt of cloth. Zhou Fu rolled his eyes. Brother Huang, 2 ginseng came to my house yesterday. The age is not bad. Do you want me to send it to you as a supplement? Ha 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 ha. Lu Feng could not help but laugh out loud. Huang Haoyun's face darkened. This is not an ordinary bolt of cloth. What's different about it? The material of this cloth is different from any other cloth on the market. After I obtained it, I studied it carefully. I was too engrossed in it and accidentally knocked over the teacup in my hand. The tea splashed on it. Who knew that after the cloth was scalded by the tea, a map would appear? Oh! Zhou Fu's interest was instantly piqued. Could it be a treasure map? Huang Haoyun shook his head. I don't know about that. The map pointed to a temple outside the city. I think it's called Guiyun Temple. Guiyun Temple? Lu Tong exclaimed. Zhou Fu felt like a fool. He didn't know anything about this. He even missed the wooden stake that he beat up for 10 days. Brother Lu, is there something wrong with this Guiyun Temple? Lu Feng frowned. If I remember correctly, that Guiyun Temple was abandoned half a year ago. The monks inside have all left. Outskirts of the city, abandoned temple. If these 2 things were put together, it was guaranteed that something big would happen. Zhou Fu, who knew the reason, wanted to change the topic. However, Huang Haoyun beat him to it and said, "The 2 of you, do you want to go and take a look? Here it comes." Zhou Fu was about to refuse when Lu Tong said, "Brother Huang, your family should know about this, right?" Of course they know. Huang Haoyun nodded matter-of-factly. Besides, he couldn't hide this kind of thing. Since Huang Jia already knows, can we still go? My family sent people to search before, but they didn't find anything. However, I have a feeling that this matter isn't that simple. Seeing this scene, Zhou Fu felt that it was very familiar. On second thought, wasn't this a scene from a horror movie? Should the next step be to suggest that everyone go and die together? If Brother Zhou and Brother Lu are free, why don't we go and take a look? Even if we can't find anything, we can just treat it as an outing. Oh, Brother Huang, that's a good suggestion. A few days ago, I was also very troubled by the matters at home. This is a good chance to relax. What do you think, Brother Zhou? A deserted temple in the outskirts doesn't sound very auspicious. I think we should, seeing Zhou Fu's rejection, Huang Haoyun hurriedly said, Sigh, Brother Zhou, we're going for an outing. Look, it's still early. Let's go for a walk and be back before sunset. What do you think, Brother Lu? Looking at Huang Haoyun's eyes, Lu Tong understood instantly. How was this an outing? He was clearly trying to get closer to Zhou Fu. Brother Zhou, just agree. Zhou Fu thought for a moment. As long as he was back before sunset, nothing should happen. Therefore, under the persuasion of the two, he agreed. After leaving the inn, the news of Zhou Fu taking over Heng Yun gambling den spread quickly within the Huang Jia and Lu family. Furthermore, the news of Zhou Gongzi wanting to go sightseeing with Huang Gongzi and Lu Gongzi had also reached the upper echelons of the two families. With that, the matter had broken away from the initial intention of the three rich young masters to get closer to each other. It had become a signal for the three families to work together. 9 carriages from the three families and dozens of people rushed towards Guiyun Temple. When the carriages arrived at Guiyun Temple, the three young masters began their treasure hunt. The others cleaned out a courtyard and made a simple living quarters. After all, the young masters needed to rest when they were tired. Guiyun Temple, half a year ago, was a famous temple outside of Heiyang City. There were more than 300 monks on the list. But for some reason, it suddenly became deserted half a year ago. Brother Zhou, Brother Lu, please take a look. This is the map that I got from the cloth. In front of the main hall of Guiyuan Temple, Huang Haoyun took out a map that was copied from the cloth. Zhou Fu frowned as he looked at it. This thing was a little abstract. Fortunately, the names of some of the main buildings were marked on it. For example, the Hall of Great Strength in front of him. As for whether it was the person who drew the map or the people of Huang Jia who did it, he had no idea. He was too embarrassed to ask. It's a pity that such a temple is deserted. Brother Zhou, Brother Lu, please take a look. This Buddha statue is really exquisite. In the main hall, Zhou Fu frowned. He could feel a cold aura circling around him. Chapter 15. Most of the Buddha statues in Guiyun Temple were over 2 zhang tall. The craftsmanship was exquisite, and the Buddha's eyes were especially vivid. They were half open and half closed, giving off a benevolent light. The Buddha body sat on a lotus throne, exuding a tranquil and peaceful aura. However, this majestic Buddha statue gave off a strange and indescribable feeling when set off by the desolate temple. The three of them strolled around for a while. Just as the sun was about to set, Zhou Fu suggested, Guys, it's getting late. Let's prepare to head back. And then, Brother Lu is right. When they returned to the campsite, the servants had already prepared the refreshments and dishes. This is? Zhou Fu looked at the table full of food and did not know whether to laugh or cry. From the looks of it, they did not seem like they were going to leave. Brother Zhou, we've walked a long way. We should take a break, Huang Haoyun explained with a smile. Yes, Brother Huang is right. We should take a break. Lu Tong chimed in. After all, they had come to this desolate temple for Zhou Fu. If they were really going to have fun, why not go to Gui Xiang brothel? There was good wine and meat there. There were also young ladies in chiffon dancing. Which one of them was not better than this desolate temple? All right, let's take a break then. Zhou Fu could only sigh in the face of the two hooligans' enthusiasm. Although he wanted to be willful and leave, he could only do so for the sake of his face. He would never come again. Boom! Just as the three of them were chatting and drinking tea, a sudden clap of thunder rang out from outside, causing everyone to tremble. What's going on? Zhou Fu stood up and walked outside. At this moment, the servants in the courtyard were also in a state of panic. The leader of the group was trying to calm them down. Seeing Zhou Fu's group walk out, the manager hurried over. "Young master, it seems like we won't be able to leave. Look at the sky." Zhou Fu raised his head and his heart skipped a beat. A thick layer of black clouds floated over from the south at an extremely fast speed. Gusts of strong wind shook the surrounding trees, indicating that a storm was coming. At this moment, Lu Tong and Huang Haoyun also walked over. When they looked up and saw the clouds, their faces turned ugly. Although they wanted to build a relationship with Zhou Fu, they didn't want to spend the night here. Looking at the clouds, it didn't look like it would stop raining anytime soon. Zhou Fu was very annoyed. The situation in front of him was more and more like a scene in a horror movie. Get someone to reinforce the doors and windows and get some wood. If that doesn't work, tear down the doors and windows in the courtyard. Let's make do here today. Fine, that's all we can do. Thinking about how the road would become muddy after the rainstorm, Zhou Fu felt a headache coming on. The courtyard was spacious and there were gatehouses on all sides. There was even a place to park carriages. There was also a kitchen and toilet. It seemed like this was a place for important guests to stay. Rumble. Whoosh. After the room was cleaned up, the sky suddenly turned dark, followed by a heavy downpour. At this moment, the three of them were no longer in the mood to talk and returned to their respective rooms to rest. Because of the unique structure of the temple, every room was very spacious. The housekeeper had people divide the rooms simply, the maids were next to the young masters, and the guards and servants were squeezed together. Zhou Fu sat on the bed and looked at the dancing flames in front of him. Coupled with the sound of rain outside, a feeling of drowsiness came over him. The flames kept dancing, and the burning wood would occasionally crackle. The room slowly quieted down. After an unknown period of time, a ray of light lit up the room. Kacha! Boom! The loud sound of thunder was like the collapse of the sky. Zhou Fu stood up. He glanced around and saw a figure standing beside the fire. The figure's head was covered by long hair. Through the long hair, Zhou Fu felt two cold gazes staring at him. This person was definitely not his servant. Who was he or she? Who are you? Zhou Fu abruptly turned around, his eyes fixed on that figure. Men! There was no movement outside and Zhou Fu's heart sank. This was a large room. In order to ensure Zhou Fu's safety, only a curtain was used to separate the room. Not to mention a sound, even a slight cough would make the maids outside rush in. Who are you? That figure was still standing there. He didn't reply, nor did he move. He just stood there quietly, as if he didn't make a sound. He was like a wooden stake. Wooden stake? Zhou Fu's eyes were fierce. He slightly arched his back, separated his feet, and the blood in his body began to circulate. F***CKU. With a roar, Zhou Fu rushed over. Clenching his hands into fists, he punched out according to the mountain-breaking fist. Whoosh! A cold wind blew, and Zhou Fu's fist hit the air. The figure floated back half a step and dodged the attack. Although it did not cause any damage, the wind brought by the fist blew up the long hair. Motherf****. Zhou Fu's hair stood on end. The situation in front of him scared him so much that he almost fell to the ground. Behind the long hair was a pale face. The lips were turned outwards and were black. The eyes were all white like the eyes of a dead fish. How was this a person? This was clearly a corpse. Gulp! Zhou Fu swallowed hard. He felt cold all over, and even the fire half a step away from him did not bring him any warmth. Isn't this a low-level martial arts world? How can there be a big dumpling here? This is King out of the world. Kakik! Just as Zhou Fu was thinking of countermeasures, the corpse made a strange sound. This was even more terrifying. The cold air continued to invade his body, and the blood in his body seemed to slow down. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I must find a way to escape. No, I can't escape either. This is a temple in the middle of nowhere. Who knows what else is out there? Zhou Fu thought for a long time, and it seemed that there was only one way out. Kikik. Motherf asterisk cur, it's coming again. After a while, Zhou Fu was no longer as panicked as before. At the same time, he rejoiced in his heart. Fortunately, it was a corpse. If it had been a formless ghost, it would have been a real disaster. Call me your uncle. Zhou Fu pounced forward again, his arms stretched out in the air, and slapped out with a double wind blast. Kikik. It was a half-smile, half-scream. The strange sound was particularly creepy. This sound seemed to be able to emit coldness, acting on the human body through hearing. Zhou Fu could clearly feel that his speed was not right. Even the speed of his punches was much slower. He had to end this quickly. This was definitely not a situation that he could drag on. The longer it took, the more dangerous his situation would be. After making up his mind, Zhou Fu sprinted forward and chased after the strange corpse in the room. Go to hell! Chapter 16. After the strange corpse flashed a dozen times, it was finally angered by Zhou Fu. It let out an ear-piercing scream and pounced at him. Zhou Fu's eyes lit up. He was not afraid that it would not attack, but he was afraid that it would continue to hide. Good! He roared excitedly. The muscles all over his body suddenly swelled, and a faint bronze color appeared on his skin. He waved his right fist, and his blood boiled. His huge fist smashed toward the corpse's claws. Crack! Accompanied by the crisp sound of bones breaking, the corpse was sent flying. Zhou Fu's mouth twitched. It was just SOSO. A whoa! A shrill scream was heard. It was like metal scraping against metal, and it gave him goosebumps. The corpse that fell to the ground suddenly bounced up. Its right hand hung on its arm like a broken branch. Come, let me see how many punches you can take. Roar. With a roar, just when Zhou Fu thought that it was going to pounce on him, it broke the window and ran out. Damn it! Damn it! This thing actually had a brain. Damn it, you run fast. Recalling the scene just now, Zhou Fu's expression became more and more unpleasant. Powerless. This was even worse than being kited in the canyon. At least he could flash, but now he did not even have a pages. When I find a way to move, I will let you have a taste of my clay pot fist. Bang bang bang. The cold wind outside blew the window, and the broken window frame hit the wall next to it. Oh right, how are the people outside? Zhou Fu's body trembled, and he hurriedly walked out. There were 2 bonfires outside, and there were a few people sleeping next to each bonfire. He frowned and walked over. He picked a guard and called out softly. When he saw that there was no response, he reached out and touched him. Yes, the temperature was still there. His breathing was calm. It meant that he was still alive. Wake up! Wake up! After being shaken by Zhou Fu a few times, the guard opened his eyes in confusion. He looked at Zhou Fu for a while before coming back to his senses. Young master? Is there anything I can help you with? Wait, how did I fall asleep? Just as the guard asked this question, he instantly felt that something was wrong. He was on night watch today, so he shouldn't have fallen asleep. The man shuddered and sat up. He turned his head to look in another direction, and his heart turned ice-cold. Everyone was lying on the ground. He had fallen into someone else's trap. Young master, oui. Zhou Fu shook his head. Wake him up first. Yes. After some effort, the guards woke everyone up. Young master, are you all right? Zhou Fu shook his head. I'm fine. Go and fix the window. 2 of you, come with me to see how Huang Jia and the Lu family are doing. Yes. The houses in the courtyard were all connected by corridors, so one could reach all the houses without being drenched in the rain. Zhou Fu led the 2 guards out of the house and went to the Lu family, which was the closest to him. Bang bang bang. Brother Lu. Brother Lu. There was no response from the room. Zhou Fu took a deep breath and slowly pushed the door open. The 3 of them entered the room and saw that it was the same as their room. Everyone was asleep by the fire. Wake up! Wake up! The guard of the Lu family woke up in a daze. When he saw the people in front of him, he was shocked. You guys! How did you guys get in? Especially when he saw that everyone around him had fainted, he collapsed. He thought that the Zhou family was making things difficult for them. What are you shouting for? We've been ambushed. Hurry and wake them up. Ah! The guards, who were slow to realize what was going on, shouted at everyone in a daze. Lu Tong thanked Zhou Fu with a face full of fear. Brother Zhou, thank you for saving my life. When we return, the Lu family will definitely repay you generously. Brother Lu, you're too kind. Let's go and see Brother Huang. All right, let's go together. Zhou Fu and the rest arrived at Huang Haoyun's room. Their hearts sank because one of the guards had died in front of the door. Let's go in and take a look. The guards of the Zhou and Lu families unsheathed their swords. With a torch in one hand and a long sword in the other, they walked in carefully. There's one dead here. There's a maid's corpse here. Lu Tong said in a deep voice, let's find Brother Huang first. In a world with a strict hierarchy, the lives of those at the bottom were like weeds on the street. Zhou Fu remained silent about Lu Tong's arrangement. Young Master Huang is found. Young Master Huang is found. The two of them looked at each other and hurried over. Brother Zhou, Brother Lu. Under the light of the fire, Huang Haoyun's face was pale. He leaned weakly against the guards of his family. The clothes on his left arm had already rotted away, and there were still traces of blood seeping out of it. A frightened maidservant used her trembling hands to bandage his wound. I'll remember what happened today. When I return to the city, I, Huang Jia, will definitely pay a visit to thank you. Brother Huang, you don't have to do this. The situation is no longer safe. Let's gather our three families together to prevent anything from happening. All right. You're right, Brother Zhou. After a while, the Zhou, Lu, and Huang families moved into the house of the Lu family. After all, the window in Zhou Fu's house was broken. Even if they repaired it, there would still be air leak. The Huang Jia's house was even worse. 3 people had died. It was even more uninhabitable. In the house, the 3 families sat together in silence. Huang Haoyun's face turned even uglier when he found out that only his family had died. I've implicated the 2 of you in today's matter. Brother Huang, you're too serious. Today, our 3 families were plotted against by thieves. We won't let this matter rest. By the way, Brother Zhou said that you saw the thieves. What are their characteristics? Everyone's gazes turned to him. Zhou Fu said in a deep voice, at that time I was awakened by a thunderclap. When I opened my eyes, I saw a figure standing beside the fire. Long hair covered his face, and he was wearing a gray coat. After that person saw that I was awake, he broke the window and ran away. You'll know what happened after that. Huang Haoyun lowered his head. His eyes flashed with an inexplicable light. Since he was young, this was the first time he felt so close to death. He hated it. He was unwilling to accept it. Why was it him? Why was it that the Zhou and Lu families were fine? Why was it him? Crackle, the wood made a sound in the fire. A few sparks flashed in the air and disappeared. At this time, the storm outside was about to stop. The sound of the rain hitting the ground was also gone. The room was even quieter. In the quiet room, everyone was waiting for the sun to shine on the earth again. Zhou Fu suddenly frowned. He felt uncomfortable all over. He felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't tell what it was. Brother Zhou, are you feeling uncomfortable? Lu Tong noticed Zhou Fu's strange behavior and asked worriedly. I can't tell. I just feel that something is wrong. It's like, his brain was working quickly. He tried to recall that feeling. He must have felt it before. It should have been not long ago. Not long ago it seemed like a corpse. Yes, it was when he was being watched by that corpse. Not good. Everyone be alert. Boom, boom, boom. The surrounding doors and windows were instantly shattered. A large amount of sawdust was sent into the room. The group of people screamed. Chapter 17. As the wind dissipated, Zhou Fu felt a chill run down his spine when he saw the scene in front of him. 6 figures that looked just like the corpse from before stood quietly by the wall. Their signature long hair hung in front of their foreheads, and everything above their chest was covered. Their bodies were covered in a large gray robe, and they were emitting a cold aura at all times. "Who are you people?" The guards from the 3 families drew their long swords and surrounded the maid and the 3 young masters. "Brother Zhou, did you meet these people before?" Lu Tong asked in a trembling voice. "Yes." Gulp Lu Tong gulped. "Brother Zhou, it's not that I don't believe you, but are you sure that the person from before was scared away by you?" The conversation between the 2 left everyone speechless. Why were they still arguing about this at a time like this? Zhou Fu also wanted Lu Tong to shut up. He left by himself. "I didn't say that he was scared away by me. Also, shut up now." Oh, okay." After the 2 clowns quietened down, everyone around them heaved a sigh of relief. "Who are you people? Why did you kill the people of the Huangjia?" A ferocious rebuke rang out, causing everyone to tremble in fear. Everyone looked over. The person who spoke was actually the eldest young master of the Huangjia, Huang Haoyun. His face was gloomy and his eyes were bloodshot. He was emitting a crazy aura, and everyone around him moved aside to avoid him. "Speak! Who are you people?" Looking at Huang Haoyun's appearance, Zhou Fu sneered in his heart. It wasn't directed at Huang Haoyun, but ever since they woke him up, this guy's expression had been very strange. And every time he looked at him, there was a hint of hatred in his eyes. Hee. A sharp laughter suddenly rang out, and everyone's heart tightened. "Brat from the Huangjia, hand over the chart of the enlightened king." Huangjia? Chart of the enlightened king? The people from the Zhou and Lu families had strange expressions on their faces. A bunch of nonsense. What chart of the enlightened king? A trace of panic flashed across Huang Haoyun's face as he shouted towards the door. He turned around and looked at Zhou Fu and Lu Tong. His voice was filled with urgency as he said, "Brother Zhou, Brother Lu, you must believe me. I don't know what the chart of the wise king is. That person must be trying to sow discord and then break them down one by one. That must be it." It would have been better if Huang Jia did not explain. Everyone had the same thought. However, after seeing Huang Haoyun's expression, everyone was certain that this matter was true. Huang Jia must have obtained the chart of the wise king. Ha. Brat from Huang Jia, you know whether you have the chart of King Bright or not. Let's cut the crap. Hand over the chart of King Bright and I'll let you go. Otherwise, roar. Beast-like roars were emitted from the figures' bodies, bringing with them gusts of wind that blew towards the crowd. "Brother Huang, you have to be rational. Now is not the time to be stubborn. If you have something, quickly hand it over. After all, your life is more important." Yes. Young Master Huang, you have to control yourself. Now is not the time to worry about things. Staying alive is the most important thing. Following Lu Tong's persuasion, the people from the Zhou family also followed suit. On the other hand, Huang Haoyun's face was so pale that it was about to drip water. Zhou Fu was watching the show from the side. After all, it was not his family's item. If he handed it over, it would be fine. However, this Huang Haoyun was too much. After causing so much trouble, he did not even let out a fart. Instead, he wanted the Zhou and Lu families to help him take the damage. Wasn't this nonsense? Brother Huang, if you really have the chart of King Bright, quickly hand it over. I don't want my family's guards to risk their lives for an inanimate object. Seeing that Huang Haoyun was still struggling, Zhou Fu said angrily. Yes, Brother Huang. Although we have been good friends for many years, this is not the way to do things. After all, no matter how good an inanimate object is, it is not as important as human life. You. Huang Haoyun was so angry that his entire body was trembling. Following their words, the guards of the Huang family also looked at him with pleading eyes. The situation in front of them was not to be trifled with. No one wanted to be so stupid as to face them head-on. After a few breaths, Huang Haoyun still did not make a decision. Zhou Fu's eyes flashed. He did not want to be a sucker. Moreover, the Zhou and Huang families were not related in any way. He definitely would not take the risk. Brother Huang, now is not the time to be indecisive. Moreover, my Zhou family does not want to have any casualties because of such a small matter. You, Zhou Fu, you are good. You are very good. Zhou Fu rolled his eyes. He did not expect that there would be such a shameless person in this world. I am not your father and I have no benefits. Why should I take the hit for you? Big face? People of the Zhou family, move aside. Yes. The guards of the Zhou family glared at the people of the Huang family with hatred. The direction of the blade in their hands changed. Lu Tong looked at this scene in shock. His brain was spinning fast. Although he didn't want to take the knife for the Huang family, he didn't want to be so absolute. There was no room for negotiation. This wasn't how a businessman should act. Huang Haoyun turned to look at Lu Tong. Brother Lu is still the most righteous. Unlike some despicable people. Brother Lu, don't worry. When we return to the city, the Huang family, will definitely pay a visit to thank you. Brother Huang, you are too serious. I feel that this matter should be handled steadily. Hearing Huang Haoyun's words, Lu Tong's heart skipped a beat. He thought to himself, this Huang Haoyun can't be thinking of using me as a shield, right? The chart of the enlightened king is an inanimate object after all. We can't bring it with us when we die. Now that we have to sacrifice our lives for it, I don't think it's a good idea. Judging from the current situation, the chart of the enlightened king was definitely an incredible object. Otherwise, Huang Haoyun would not be willing to sacrifice his life for it. But then again, no matter how good the item was, it did not belong to the Lu family. In that case, it would be better to give it away. This way, no one would be left with anything. It was perfect. Brother Lu. Don't tell me you. Lu Tong revealed a troubled expression. Brother Huang, I have no choice but to do this. The main thing is that I have a kind heart. I have never seen blood since I was young. If you want my Lu family to sacrifice their lives for no reason, I am not willing to do so. Lu family, listen up. Make way. You all. A series of unforeseen events happened. Huang Haoyun's voice actually carried a hint of sobbing. This made Zhou Fu and Lu Tong dumbfounded. Kiki. Huang Jia brat, hand over the chart of the enlightened king. The person who spoke seemed to be standing at the door. But with the help of the firelight, it was empty. Only the shadow of the door frame could be seen. I don't know what the chart of the enlightened king is. Zhou Fu shook his head. The other party had already come knocking on his door. What was the point of being stubborn about it? Seeing Huang Haoyun being so insistent, he suddenly felt a little interested in the chart of the enlightened king. Kiki. You refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. Kill him. Chapter 18. Ha 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 ha. Amidst the ear-piercing laughter, the figures turned into shadows and pounced on Huang Jia's bodyguards. Clang. Huang Jia's bodyguards drew their long swords. Under the illumination of the fire, the room was filled with cold light. Men, kill! After seeing the enemy attack, Huang Jia's bodyguards no longer expected their young master to hand over the chart of the wise king. They gritted their teeth and waved their long swords. Clang! 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 The sound of metal colliding was heard. Everyone looked at the long swords in shock. Not only did they not cut into the enemy's body, but they were also knocked out by a huge force. Impossible! Monsters! Monsters! Puff! 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 Just as Huang Jia's bodyguards were stunned, the figures rushed into the crowd and waved their sharp claws. The bodyguards were instantly cut into several pieces. The smell of blood filled the air. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 Huang Jia's bodyguards were killed. Blurg! After killing Huang Jia's bodyguards, the figures did not move. They just stood there quietly, waiting for their master's orders. Don't come over! Don't come over! Huang Haoyun broke down. Under the stimulation of broken limbs and blood, he broke down. His legs went soft and he sat on the ground. His legs kicked wildly and his whole body retreated. He let out a shrill cry. No! Don't come over! Let me go! Let me go! I'll give you money! I'll give you a lot of money! There was a gust of wind and a figure appeared in front of Huang Haoyun. The figure was covered in a black robe and looked a little short. Bang! There was a crisp sound. From Zhou Fu's perspective, the black robe swayed slightly and Huang Haoyun was sent flying. Bang! Huang Haoyun, who hit the wall, fell to the ground. Don't kill me! Don't kill me! The black figure flashed again and appeared next to Huang Haoyun. A sharp voice sounded, Huang Jia boy, where is the chart of the wise king? Huang Haoyun moved to the side in horror and shook his head frantically. I don't know, I really don't know. You don't know? Yes. After I got it, I handed it to my family. I don't know anything else. Looks like you're not being honest. No, I've already said it. I really have said too much. Crack. Huang Haoyun howled and hugged his right leg like an arched prawn. Aha! Huang Jia brat, do you really think I'm an idiot? I don't want to waste any more time. Hand over the chart of the Bright King and I'll spare your life. I really don't know, Looks like you won't cry until you see the coffin. Seeing that the black-robed man was about to torture Huang Haoyun again, Zhou Fu frowned. Although he hated Huang Haoyun, seeing him being tortured so miserably still made him unhappy. Excuse me. The black-robed man stopped and turned around to look at Zhou Fu. What advice does young Master Zhou have for me? It's not advice, but can you let me move to another room? Your methods are making me feel very uncomfortable. When he said this, the guards and maids of the Zhou clan were about to cry. They never thought that their young master would have such courage and lack of judgment. I didn't expect young Master Zhou to be such a soft-hearted person. As the saying goes, peace breeds wealth. I've been soft-hearted since I was young and can't bear to see this kind of scene. Interesting. I didn't expect young Master Zhou to be such an interesting person. Huang Haoyun raised his head when he saw the two of them chatting happily. Half of his face was red and swollen, while the other half was covered in dust. Even the hair on his forehead was covered in tiny bits of debris, making him look extremely miserable. Huang Haoyun glared at Zhou Fu and Lu Tong with bloodshot eyes as he panted heavily. Zhou Fu looked at Huang Haoyun and frowned. He continued, if young master wants the item back from Huang Jia, our Zhou clan will not interfere. We only ask to move to the next room. What do you think? What do you think? I don't think so. You can't go anywhere until you find the chart of the wise king. Young master, I'm not interested in the king of hell. I'm a living person, why would I be interested in a dead person? A dead person? The group of people stared at Zhou Fu in shock. Even the black-robed man was stunned for a moment. Young Master Zhou, the wise king. Ming as in light, not the Ming as in the netherworld. Zhou Fu shrugged nonchalantly. Whatever, it's none of my business. The black-robed man ignored Zhou Fu and turned around to pick up Huang Haoyun. He reached out and searched his body but couldn't find anything. He patted Huang Haoyun's cheeks lightly. Huang Jia, my patience is limited. If you don't behave, I'll let you have a taste of being skinned alive. Huang Haoyun trembled as he was picked up. He cried out, I really don't have the chart of the wise king. At this moment, the manager of Huang Jia walked over with fear and trepidation. He held a piece of paper in his hand. I wonder if this is what the king wants. If so, please let my young master go. The black-robed man threw Huang Haoyun away and reached out to take the paper. That's right, this is it. Where was it originally? Hand it over. The black-robed man's tone was agitated. I don't have it. A hysterical voice came out of Huang Haoyun's mouth. An ant actually dared to talk to him like this. The black-robed man, who was already in a bad mood, became even more impatient. Crack! He stepped forward and broke Huang Haoyun's other leg. I'll give you one last chance. If you don't speak, then die. Huang Haoyun broke down. He widened his eyes, but he didn't look at the black-robed man. Instead, he glared at Zhou Fu and Lu Tong with hatred. I'll give it. I'll give it. It's in the box. Hearing this, Zhou Fu frowned. A bad premonition arose in his heart. He saw that the boxes and cabinets were overturned. Huang Jia's items were all scattered on the ground in a big pile. Huang Haoyun ordered the guards to search, but they couldn't find anything. Where's the item? The black-robed man asked. Where's the item? Where's my item? Huang Haoyun looked like he was possessed. He threw himself on top of the pile and his hands kept searching. Young Master Huang, do you think that I don't dare to kill you? Is that why you're so unscrupulous? Huang Haoyun shook his head frantically. His face was full of panic. The item was in the box before. It's really there. What about now? Now, under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Huang Haoyun suddenly turned to Zhou Fu. It's them. It must be them. They're the ones who took the chart of the Bright King. The Zhou family was stunned for a moment, then they started cursing. You're slandering us. Framing, this is framing. Shameless. Utterly shameless. I'll *CK your whole family. The black-robed man glanced at Zhou Fu and turned to look at Huang Haoyun. He said darkly, Young Master Huang, you better think carefully. This is your last chance. If you continue to lie, even if you hand over the chart of the Bright King later, I'll let you feel the taste of death by 1,000 cuts. I don't dare. I don't dare. It must be them. Previously we all fainted. Only Zhou Fu is fine. He must have done it while we were unconscious. It must be. Zhou Fu's face was expressionless, but his eyes were burning with rage. The black-robed man sneered in disdain. He turned around and said, Young Master Zhou, you heard it too. Hand over the item. Otherwise, you've seen how powerful my walking corpses are. So those things were called walking corpses. Zhou Fu's eyes moved between the walking corpses and the black-robed man. He then said, He's lying to you. Can't you see? It doesn't matter if he's lying or not. The item must be handed over. Otherwise, all of you will die. If you feel that this book is okay, please recommend it. Chapter 19. Protect the Young Master. Following the Zhou family's steward's command, the guards surrounded Zhou Fu with steel swords in their hands. The maidservants who were by Zhou Fu's side were also chased to the back. The black-robed man waited quietly for the Zhou family's guards to get into formation. Young Master Zhou, where is the expert from your Zhou family who crippled one of my zombies? Call him out too. Are you still going to hide? Expert? An expert who could defeat a zombie. Lu Tong instantly understood. How could such a terrifying zombie be scared away by Zhou Fu? So there was an expert protecting him. Thinking of this, Lu Tong's eyes turned. As the saying goes, icing on the cake is better than providing charcoal in the snow. If he helped Zhou Fu now, then Zhou Fu wouldn't just watch him die, right? Let's do it. Take the gamble. Brother Lu. Lu Tong shouted. Let's split up. My Lu family's guards will also listen to the Zhou family's orders. I only hope that Brother Zhou can protect my Lu family's disciples to the best of your ability. Zhou Fu was stunned for a moment before he reacted. Lu Tong was using his authority in exchange for his own safety. As for the Lu family's disciples, that was bullshit. Among the group of people, only Lu Tong had the surname Lu. There were no other Lu family's disciples. But it had to be said that this sentence was very appropriate. At this moment, the Lu family's guards and servants were looking at Lu Tong with gratitude. Zhou Fu nodded to the steward, indicating that this matter was feasible. The Zhou family's steward said, "Young Master Lu is indeed righteous. Please come over." Thus, the Zhou and Lu families stood together. More than 20 guards surrounded the area tightly. This made Huang Haoyun, who was still groaning on the ground, feel even more resentful. The black-robed man didn't care about what was happening. Even if there were 10 more guards, it would be useless. He was more worried about the hidden expert. "Young Master Zhou, are we really not letting that expert come out?" In that moment, everyone looked at Zhou Fu, anticipating the appearance of that expert. Zhou Fu sighed inwardly at the crowd's anticipation. There was no such thing as an expert. They were just thinking too much. However, the hearts of the people still had to be appeased. He opened his mouth and said, "Everyone, we only need to defend against the attacks of the walking corpses. If there is any danger, my Zhou clan's consecrator will step in." Consecrate. It was actually a consecrator. All the big clans in Heong City had their own consecrators. These people were very powerful, but they rarely showed themselves, which was equivalent to a deterrent. Now everyone was excited, and the fear that rose because of the ferocious fighting strength of the undead suddenly dissipated by more than half. "I didn't expect Brother Zhou to have a consecrator protecting him." "Truly, Sai." Lu Tong looked at Zhou Fu with a complicated expression. He made up his mind to hug Zhou Fu's thigh when he returned. One had to know that in other clans, only the clan leader would have a consecrator protecting him. "Zhou Fu! Damn you!" Huang Haoyun grabbed his own hair with both hands and tore it with all his might. He looked like a malicious ghost. Bang! The black-robed man hit Huang Haoyun until he spat out blood. He who was guarding against the Zhou clan's consecrator was actually frightened by an ant. "Zhou clan's consecrator," the black-robed man said in a low voice, and then said seriously, "If that's the case, then let me see the power of the Zhou clan's consecrator." Although he said that, he still cautiously called back 2 of the walking corpses to protect him. "Kill them!" Roar. The 4 walking corpses let out a roar and pounced forward. "Be careful and defend, block them." The guards who had their confidence boosted roared and waved the steel swords in their hands at the walking corpses. Dang dang! Bang bang bang! Whenever the swords hit the walking corpses' arms or claws, there would be a metallic sound. When the swords hit the other parts of the walking corpses, not only did they not make any metallic sound, they even cut deeper. The guard who discovered this was overjoyed and shouted, "Other than the arms, the other parts of these monsters can be cut." Now everyone was even more excited. They had a consecrator protecting them in the dark, and they found the weakness of these monsters in the open. What did they have to be afraid of? Kill them! How can this be? How can this be? Why aren't they dead? Why don't they die? Huang Haoyun, who was blasted into the corner by the black-robed man, looked at the battle situation not far away in a daze. The scene of flesh and blood flying everywhere when the walking corpses rushed into the crowd did not appear. Instead, the guards and the 4 walking corpses fought with ease and gradually gained the upper hand. Why? Why is this? On the other side, the steward of Huang Jia looked at his young master's crazy appearance, and his heart was full of hatred. He stepped forward and whispered, "Young master, before we were dealing with 1 walking corpse with 2 people. Look at them now, they are dealing with 1 walking corpse with 4 or 5 people. Of course they can win." On the other side, the black-robed man also saw that his walking corpses were at a disadvantage, and began to feel anxious. On the other hand, the steward of the Zhou family, who was originally worried, was relieved, especially when the guards found the weakness of the walking corpses. "Everyone, don't be impulsive. Focus on defense. Our consecrator is watching, we can't lose. Can't lose." These 3 words were like a loud slap on the face of the black-robed man. He did not expect that he would be laughed at by the ants in his eyes. "Damn it! Can't lose. I'll make sure you can't lose." Bang! The black-robed man took a step, and the powerful force cracked the ground under his feet. He rose into the air. Ants die. A pair of black and shriveled hands stretched out of the black robe, and the dark fingertips were stirred up with a strong wind, and the hands suddenly swung down. Woo woo, not good, everyone be careful. The guards who were shrouded in the wind of the claws were shocked, and their calm state of mind fluctuated again, and fear shrouded their hearts. This was an existence that only the consecrator could fight against, and now it actually attacked him. Were they going to die? Clang, clang, clang. A series of sparks flashed in the dim sky, and the huge claw force shattered the steel sword. The black hands suddenly turned, and the claws became palms. Bang, bang, bang. In the blink of an eye, 4 guards were beaten and flew out, vomiting blood. Ha 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 ha, ants, enjoy the joy of death. The sudden change shocked the other guards. No one wanted to fight with this kind of consecrator-level existence. They were just ordinary people who were slightly stronger. Where are your consecrators? Come out. Ha 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 ha. Die. The black-robed man used the same trick again, and the black hands once again stirred up a strong wind, frightening the guards on both sides to hide to the side, fearing that they would be the one who was sent flying. Roar! The zombies that were originally guarding the black-robed man also rushed over, and the maidservants of the Zhou and Lu families closed their eyes in despair. Ha 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 ha! Good kill! Good kill! Huang Haoyun was excited. This was the scene he wanted to see. You all have to die. The 2 zombies roared and rushed into the crowd through the gap torn by the black-robed man, and the first to bear the brunt was Zhou Fu. No. Young master. Consecrator, quickly do something. The 4 pairs of sharp claws were getting closer and closer to Zhou Fu, and the look of despair on the manager's face became heavier and heavier. Huang Haoyun, who had broken his legs, was so agitated that he wanted to stand up. Bang bang! Crack! Crack! The 2 zombies in the air suddenly stopped, and their outstretched arms were suddenly smashed, and then they flew out, spinning. The room suddenly quieted down, and a voice full of helplessness sounded. Look at you, how good would it be to let me go? Why do you have to be so nosy? Chapter 20. How is this possible? Huang Haoyun's ferocious smile froze on his face. The situation not far away stunned him once again. The others were also stunned, and even the other 4 corpses with some broken corpses stopped moving. It's you? The black-robed man's tone was full of surprise. Brother Zhou, you. Lu Tong was not only shocked by Zhou Fu, but also felt very embarrassed. When Zhou Fu was attacked by the corpses, he took a few steps back and left Zhou Fu alone in a dangerous place. Zhou Fu sighed and stepped forward. The guards quickly made way for him. It's you. The Zhou family didn't send anyone here, right? To the black-robed man's question, Zhou Fu replied, maybe. Good, very good. The black-robed man was so angry that he was trembling. He felt that he had lost all his face today. I didn't expect young Master Zhou to be so powerful. Then let me see how strong you are. Zhou Fu bent down slightly. The blood in his body was boiling. His hands were in the posture of the mountain-breaking fist. This was his first battle. I also want to know how strong my 200-pound body is compared to yours. Kill! The black-robed man roared. His black hands carried a sharp force and grabbed toward Zhou Fu's chest. He looked like he was going to break Zhou Fu's chest. Zhou Fu roared angrily and punched out with his huge fist. Bang bang! The fist and the palm collided. The black-robed man was sent flying by Zhou Fu's huge force. After landing, he took 3 steps back and felt pain in his palm. Good boy, good strength. Zhou Fu was also sent 5 steps back by the opponent's strange force. The sleeves on his arms were torn into pieces. However, his arms were not injured, which boosted Zhou Fu's confidence. Again, kill. The 200-pound body charged forward. His feet made a series of muffled sounds on the ground. Ant, since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish today. Ghost cry. The black-robed man's sleeves fluttered as his arms began to vibrate. His pair of sharp claws struck out continuously. Woo-woo, a sound that sounded like the cry of a ghost rang out. The pitch-black claws seemed to have penetrated Zhou Fu's fist and directly smashed into Zhou Fu's chest. What's going on? Boom! The force exploded, and the tyrannical and strange force sent Zhou Fu flying. Hee, brat, I'll let you be arrogant. You've only learned some mediocre kung fu, yet you dare to be so arrogant in front of your grandfather. Next year, today will be the anniversary of your death. Die! The black-robed man's feet flashed, and his figure appeared beside Zhou Fu. Taking advantage of the fact that Zhou Fu was in the air and unable to borrow any force, he brandished his pair of sharp claws continuously. Whoosh! Whoosh! No. Young master! The people who had just been excited were once again shrouded in despair. The steward of the Zhou clan shed tears as he watched the black-robed man continuously attack the figure. His heart sank into an abyss. Ha 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 ha! Kill! Well done! All the bastards of the Zhou clan deserve to die. All of them deserve to die. Huang Haoyun, who was in the corner, was so excited that he seemed to have forgotten the pain in his body. He widened his eyes and stared at the battlefield. This made the steward of the Huang clan sigh. He did not know how to persuade him. After all, he knew that the chart of King Wisdom was not in the box. He was the one who prepared everything for this trip. Therefore, when the black-robed man killed the people of the Zhou and Lu clans and still did not find the chart of King Wisdom, it would be the Huang clan's turn. After the black-robed man vented his anger, he flipped his hands and pressed his palm on Zhou Fu's back. Bam! The 200-pound body fell to the ground, and a small cloud of dust rose. He, this is the result of provoking me. The black-robed man panted. The series of attacks just now had consumed a lot of his energy. He slowly turned around and looked at the group of people who were scared silly by him. Now I'll send you down to cough 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 cough. That's it? Everyone turned around to look. They saw Zhou Fu standing up with a grimace. Zhou Fu lowered his head and looked at the cloth strips on his body. He shook his body and the cloth strips started to dance in the air. Do you know how much my clothes cost? Just look at that tattered robe on you. 1,000 of them can't even buy one of my sleeves. Tell me, how are you going to compensate me for this? The black-robed man did not seem to be able to react. You're fine. Impossible. Impossible. It's all fake. Huang Haoyun, whose emotions were fluctuating, roared twice. His eyes rolled back and he fainted. He could not accept this situation. He could not take this blow. Zhou Fu tore off the cloth strips on his body, revealing his strong muscles. You're not fatty? Zhou Fu sneered. If it was a few days ago, he still had a lot of fat. But now it was different. His muscles were especially strong. He reached out and touched the white mark on his chest. This was the black-robed man's most vicious attack. Crying ghost. Since you can't even scratch my skin, then you can cry as much as you want. Kill! The veins on Zhou Fu's strong arms were exposed. They were like old tree roots breaking out of the ground. He kept his right arm beside his abdomen and rushed forward. Mountain-breaking fist. His huge fist brought along a gust of wind as it whizzed towards the black-robed man. Mountain-breaking fist? The black-robed man was stunned for a moment. Then, he was enraged. He was actually stunned by this common martial art. Was there any justice in this world? Sinister wind. Woo-woo. The sharp wind from his claws blew again. A cold aura was emitted from his fingertip. Whoosh whoosh. Like a sharp blade scraping through tough leather, the black claws bounced off Zhou Fu's body. Damn it! What kind of body is this? Without waiting for the black-robed man to curse, Zhou Fu's huge fist landed on him. Boom! There was no time to change his move. The black-robed man had no choice but to place his palms in front of him. Then, a huge force came. Bang! The doors and windows were instantly shattered. The black-robed man was sent flying by Zhou Fu's punch. Ha 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 ha, what's this? You're just SOSO. Watch me beat you to death today. Zhou Fu was very excited. This feeling was too good. It was even better than fighting simple robots in the canyon. Take advantage of your weakness to take your life. The 6-word mantra floated in his mind. Zhou Fu rushed out. Young master! Young master! It was too late when the housekeeper reacted. It was still night outside. He was afraid that Zhou Fu would be at a disadvantage. After rushing out of the door, Zhou Fu's heart sank. The black-robed man was gone. Bang bang bang! The surrounding doors and windows were all shattered. The 4 zombies didn't stop and disappeared into the darkness in the blink of an eye. Trash! Don't go! The depressed Zhou Fu shouted at the darkness. After waiting for a while, there was no response. Zhou Fu was about to turn around and enter the house. Woo! A ghostly cry sounded above his head. Zhou Fu's heart was shocked. He raised his hand and punched upwards. Hee, kid, you had a good fight just now. Watch how Grandpa tortures you next. When the black-robed man's jet-black claws touched Zhou Fu's fists, he suddenly turned. His sharp fingertips avoided Zhou Fu's fists and left 5 long white marks on Zhou Fu's arm. Voila! His clothes fluttered in the wind. The black-robed man disappeared again. Zhou Fu was helpless. The opponent still found his weakness. His movement speed was too slow. How could he let the opponent fight him head-on? Woo! The claw wind appeared again. This time, it was on Zhou Fu's shoulder. Whoosh whoosh. He retreated after 1 hit, leaving Zhou Fu to curse. Curse? Zhou Fu's eyes lit up and he thought to himself, here I come. Chapter 21. Grandson, are you trying to scratch an itch for your grandfather? His loud voice traveled far into the darkness, and the hubbub in the room immediately quieted down. Don't stop. I'm still itching. Come on. Zhou Fu roared at the top of his lungs. Needless to say, his originally gloomy mood instantly improved by more than half. Brat, you're courting death. Whoa! A sinister gust of wind blew, and sharp claws slashed at Zhou Fu. Grandson, use more strength. Did you not eat? Zhou Fu roared angrily. He threw a barrage of punches, but the other party dodged every single one of them. He was so angry that his teeth itched. Are you the offspring of a loach? You're so slippery. This reminded him of his younger days, when he used to catch fish in the river. He couldn't catch anything, but he could always feel the small fish slipping out from between his fingers. The black-robed man was also furious, but he didn't let his anger get the better of him. He relied on his superior movement skills to dodge the attack. Brat, why don't you hit me? Your hands are as stiff as wood. After being scolded for a while, the black-robed man began to retaliate with his mouth. Zhou Fu's lips curled up when he heard the other party's retaliation. Grandson, did your father not teach you how to curse? Come. Grandfather will make it up to you today. Grandfather is going to use a small knife to poke your butt. I'll open your eyes. In that instant, Zhou Fu felt as if he had returned to Zhu An's stage. Facing the gray screen, his fingers danced wildly on the keyboard. A series of keystrokes sounded like raindrops falling on a banana leaf, crisp and pleasant to the ear. Zhou Fu's eloquent words flowed like a lotus flower. Wonderful words and phrases emerged one after another. Everyone in the room listened attentively, their eyes filled with admiration and admiration. Lu Tong praised, "My brother Zhou is indeed not an ordinary person. I'm truly convinced." Cough cough. Steward Zhou coughed dryly, his face a little red. That. Everyone, this is my young master's scheme. Yes, it's a scheme. The other party must be too cunning, so my young master came up with this plan. I hope that everyone won't spread it around. Yes. It's a scheme. Don't worry, my lips are sealed. Me too. Manager, don't worry. Even Shui Hong from Wanhua House said that I'm the tightest-lipped person she's ever met. Me too. Not only Chui Hong, but Chui Lu as well. Both of them said that I'm an honest person. What the hell are you talking about? You're already so young, how can you still be an honest person? More work, less talk. You awesome, the surrounding responses made Steward Zhou's face darken. He could only pray in his heart, young master, please accumulate virtue with your words. Otherwise, master will beat you to death when we get back. Outside the house, Zhou Fu scolded until he felt thirsty, but the other party was still not hot-blooded. This was not a good sign. This kind of technical output was very strenuous. Not only was it mentally taxing, but it also consumed a lot of physical strength. Grandson, did you learn this kung fu from a prostitute? Other than touching, there's nothing else? Under the protection of the art of copper armor, the other party's sharp claws bounced off his body. Even the other party's strange strength could not penetrate his muscles. Damn, I'm like a wooden stake now. Zhou Fu muttered in his heart. The current situation was the same as a few days ago when he was grinding for proficiency. The only difference was that he was now a wooden stake. A wooden stake? A light flashed in his mind. Why couldn't he treat the black-robed man as a moving target? In any case, he didn't have to dodge the other party's attacks. Grandson, I've understood. Take this. A solid palm wind was pushed out from Zhou Fu's palms. Understood? The black-robed man was stunned. After sensing the palm wind, his body flashed and his claws circled around Zhou Fu's arm, leaving a long white mark. Zhou Fu didn't care and pushed out another palm in the direction where the black-robed man was dodging. The speed was neither fast nor slow, and the move was heavy and powerful. Kid, have you been beaten silly by me? With your speed, you won't even be able to smell my fart. Grandson, you can laugh for now, but you'll be crying later. Take this, flying sand and stone. Zhou Fu's two palms alternated, one in front and one behind, striking out. Ever since he leveled up, he hadn't had the time to digest these new insights. Now was the time to show them. According to his memory, after Rolling Stone Palm was used, it could condense a huge force. Every palm had the power to fly sand and stone. After Zhou Fu struck twice, the black-robed man felt that something was wrong. His attacks were no longer as light and agile as before. Every time he dodged Zhou Fu's attack, there was a force pulling him. Kid, what the hell are you doing? The black-robed man's figure flashed and jumped onto a pillar. Before he could stand firm, a loud sound came from below. Boom. What followed was a violent tremor. Gotcha. The sound of wood breaking suddenly rang out. The black-robed man's heart sank. His entire body fell down. Ha 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 ha. Grandson, Grandpa has caught you. Zhou Fu laughed excitedly. Ignoring the falling bricks, he stretched out his hands and grabbed the black-robed man's left leg. Get up for Grandpa. Swoosh. The black-robed man was swung around by Zhou Fu like a sledgehammer. Boom. The ground shook violently and dust flew everywhere. Zhou Fu looked at the black-robed man who was smashed to the ground and grinned. He rushed forward and smashed his huge fist down. The black-robed man who had just recovered opened his eyes and saw a fist that was getting bigger and bigger. If he was hit, even if he didn't die, he would lose half his life. The black-robed man's eyes flashed with determination. He raised his hands and a series of hand seals were completed in an instant. At this moment, Zhou Fu's fist had already touched his nose. Ghost fog. Boom. Zhou Fu's fist smashed into the ground, but the situation in front of him stunned him. A person suddenly turned into a ball of black fog. Gotcha. A cold feeling spread on his right arm. He looked down and saw a layer of white frost spreading up his arm. F***ck, what the hell is this? Zhou Fu quickly pulled his arm out and got up to avoid the black fog. The black fog rolled and then condensed into a human shape not far away. Puff! The black-robed man spat out a mouthful of black blood. Zhou Fu looked at him in surprise and asked, Grandson, what are you? The black-robed man almost spat out another mouthful of blood. This guy actually had the face to ask him what he was? It had to be known that if it were an ordinary martial artist, they would have long been torn into a pile of bones by his een-wind ghost claw. But Zhou Fu was fine. After suffering so many attacks, nothing happened to him. Not even his skin was broken. Kid, I'll come back to take your life sooner or later. Before he finished speaking, the black-robed man turned and ran. Zhou Fu was stunned for a moment and chased after him. At this time, the sky was already bright. He could see the black-robed man's tracks clearly. Grandson, where are you going? Come back and explain to Grandpa. Since he saw that the black-robed man could turn into black fog, and the key was that the other party couldn't beat him, how could he let the other party escape? The black-robed man turned his head when he heard that. He could still speak while running. Kid, you want to catch up with me? Eat **T behind me. He tapped his toes repeatedly, and his figure suddenly rose up and directly flipped over the high wall. Boom! A loud sound came, and the black-robed man turned his head in horror. He saw that there was a big hole in the wall behind him, and a strong figure rushed out of the smoke and dust. Grandson, Grandpa is here. Dear reader, if you think this book is good, please give me a recommendation ticket. Chapter 22. Boom, boom, boom. The loud roar woke up the suburbs in the morning. Smoke and dust rose from the deserted temple. Zhou Fu chased after the black figure in front of him. His eyes were full of anger under the dust. Boom. Another wall was smashed through by him. Grandson, don't let me catch you. The black-robed man's heart was pounding. He swung his legs desperately. The monster behind him was too scary. Even if he would be severely punished when he returned, he had to run. After all, he only had one life. Whoosh! Just as the black-robed man was letting his imagination run wild, a sharp voice sounded behind him. His heart tightened and he quickly dodged to the side. Bang! The ground in front of him exploded into pieces of rubble. He turned his head in horror and saw Zhou Fu grabbing a fist-sized rock with a sinister grin. Grandson, let me play a game with you. It's called holding on if you're a man. Woo! The low voice exploded. The hair on the black-robed man's back instantly stood up. He flashed to the side. Boom! A 1-foot square hole appeared where he was just standing. Grandson, let's continue. Although he didn't hit anything, Zhou Fu was already interested. Moreover, there were many broken stones in this deserted temple. When the black-robed man saw Zhou Fu pick up a head-sized stone again, he cursed and ran toward the main hall of Guiyun Temple without looking back. There was no other reason. It was because it was clean and there were fewer broken stones. The two of them chased for a while and arrived at the square of the main hall. At this moment, the black-robed man's chest was stained with blood. Waves of weakness spread from his body to his whole body. He was reaching his limit. At the same time, Zhou Fu wasn't any better. He was panting heavily. Compared to the black-robed man's ability to leap on roofs and vault on walls, crashing into walls was much more tiring. Young Master Zhou, you can't catch up with me. I can't do anything to you. Let's just treat this as a misunderstanding. Let's keep going, okay? Zhou Fu supported his knees with both hands and panted. Okay. The black-robed man was delighted. Okay, my ass. Weren't you very arrogant before? You even wanted to kill me. Now you're thinking that nothing will happen. Do you think that's possible? The black-robed man tried to persuade him. Didn't we say that we wouldn't have known each other if we didn't fight? You see, my injuries are all thanks to you. However, you only have one piece of clothing on you. Now, you're chasing me relentlessly. What's the point of this, right? At this time, Zhou Fu's physical strength had recovered a little, and he was no longer panting. Seeing him like this, the black-robed man's eyelids twitched. You want me to let you go, right? Sure. Hand over your movement technique and the method of turning into black mist, and we'll be even. Movement technique? Black fog. The black-robed man smiled sinisterly. Young Master Zhou's tone is not small. If you say so, then we have nothing to talk about. Talk? Zhou Fu felt that the strength in his body had recovered by more than half. He smiled and said, "Wait for me to beat you down. We'll have plenty of time to talk." Dong dong dong. He took a step forward and rushed out. When the black-robed man saw Zhou Fu rushing over again, he cursed under his breath. Then, he flashed into the main hall. Zhou Fu did not stop. He climbed up the dozens of stairs in a few steps. When he was half a step into the main hall, a strong wind accompanied by a low rumbling sound suddenly rang out. "Young Master Zhou, there's no need to send me off. Goodbye." Zhou Fu steadied himself and looked over. A huge, golden Buddha head was smashing towards him. F***ck. At this time it was too late to dodge. He took a deep breath, shouted, and threw a punch. Mountain splitter. Boom. The Buddha head carried Zhou Fu out of the main hall with a strong force and smashed into the square. Bang! A cloud of smoke rose, and debris flew all over the sky. After a while, Zhou Fu stood up with difficulty. He felt a surge in his chest, and there was a sweet taste in his throat. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Puff, wiping the blood from his mouth, Zhou Fu looked at the direction of the main hall with hatred. He had decided that when he went back, he would train his movement techniques and the art of bronze armor. What is this? Feeling something strange under his feet, Zhou Fu looked down and saw a broken book under his feet. A book? He picked it up and looked. Immovable foundation seal? Heong City. Lu Tong saluted Zhou Fu and said, "Thank you, Brother Zhou, for your help. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what would happen to me." "Brother Lu, you're too kind. Today's events were really unexpected. Let's go back first. We'll meet again in the future." Lu Tong nodded. This time, there were indeed many things to report. Not only Huang Jia, but also Zhou Fu's appearance. He had to report everything. "Then, we'll meet again in the future. Goodbye." After saying goodbye to Lu Tong, Zhou Fu turned around and entered the Zhou mansion. There was already a servant waiting for him. "Young master, the master wants you to go to the study room now." "Got it." Following the servant to the study room, he heard Zhou Ducai say, "Come over here and let me see if you're hurt anywhere." Zhou Fu grinned. "Don't worry, Dad, I'm fine from head to toe. Even my skin isn't broken." Seeing Zhou Fu jumping around, Zhou Ducai heaved a sigh of relief. When he heard the butler's report just now, he was scared half to death. Dead bodies, black-robed men, and Huang Jia's guards. Zhou Ducai was so shocked that the fat on his body trembled. One must know that he only had one child, Zhou Fu, and that was his only child. The Zhou family's business was so big that it depended on Zhou Fu to inherit it. "You brat, don't mess around with those shady people in the future." I know. I won't do it again. That kind of place, I won't go there again even if I'm beaten to death. I really hope you're not joking. I'm old now, I can't stand being scared." Zhou Ducai stretched out his hand and patted his broad chest, making a pung sound as if he was beating a drum. "All right, since you don't have anything to do, and you didn't rest well yesterday, go and rest." "Yes, then I'll go and rest first." Go. After Zhou Fu left, the calm expression on Zhou Ducai's face slowly disappeared. At the same time, the atmosphere in the study room became tense. "Wang Feng, can I trouble you to check if Fu has any hidden injuries?" Wang Feng walked out from the shadows and nodded. "Got it. I'll go take a look now." After Wang Feng left, Zhou Ducai expressionlessly looked at the ceiling beam. The two ivory beads in his hand slowly rotated. Huang Jia, Huang Haoyun. After Zhou Fu returned to his courtyard, he hurriedly went to the bathroom. At this time, the warm bath water was already prepared. He jumped in with a splash, splashing water everywhere. Nice. After the fierce battle at Guiyun Temple, his clothes were all torn. Then, he was beaten up and slammed into the wall. His entire body was covered in dust, and it was very uncomfortable. Brat, I didn't see it. Your body of muscles really makes this old man shocked. Zhou Fu suddenly turned around and saw Wang Feng standing not far away with a smile. Yo, Uncle Feng, you almost scared me to death. I have this ability? Previously, I heard from the manager that you're quite awe-inspiring. Chapter 23. Uncle Feng, can you wait outside for a bit? Zhou Fu dipped his body into the water. The water that was already full was now flowing out of the tub. Wang Feng was speechless. He looked at Zhou Fu and said, You know how to be shy? Alright, I'll go out first. After Wang Feng left, Zhou Fu let out a sigh of relief. He was someone who didn't even dare to ask for a back scrub at the bathhouse. How could he let someone stare at him while he bathed? With his back against the wall of the tub, Zhou Fu was able to relax under the comfort of the warm water. Flying celestial. The support panel appeared in midair. As soon as Zhou Fu looked at it, his eyes widened. Damn! What's going on? Bronze armor's cooldown had been reduced by more than half. He still had 15 days left. Spring Force didn't change much. Its cooldown had been reduced by 5 days, so he still had 24 days left. Zhou Fu stared at the panel for a while. He only came back to his senses when the water in the tub had cooled down. Could it be that actual combat is the way to go? Mountain Break Fist's proficiency had increased by 500. Rolling Stone Palm's proficiency was even more exaggerated. If he remembered correctly, he had used the Mountain Breaking Fist the most yesterday, and only used the Rolling Stone Palm for a short while. What was strange was that Rolling Stone Palm's proficiency had increased by 1,200 points. That was King ridiculous. What's wrong? After thinking about it for a while, Zhou Fu remembered that there were some strange changes when he used Rolling Stone Palm. He guessed that it was because of this change. Looks like if I want to increase my proficiency, I have to hit both fixed targets and moving targets. He dried himself and went to the living room. Wang Feng had already started drinking his third cup of tea. When he saw Zhou Fu walk in, he said unhappily, Oh, you're out. I thought you'd only be done at night. Zhou Fu's reply to Wang Feng was to roll his eyes at him. He didn't dare to show it. It was still nighttime. He had already soaked himself in the tub. Sorry to keep you waiting, Uncle Feng. It's fine. Your tea is pretty good. This old man can wait a little longer. Uncle Feng, your nephew apologizes to you. Seeing Zhou Fu's shameless expression, Wang Feng smiled and shook his head. Recently, through his observation of Zhou Fu, he discovered that this hedonistic son of a rich family was actually a good kid. She was a good person, willing to work hard, able to endure hardships, and talented. Thus, Wang Feng regarded Zhou Fu as his disciple. Although he didn't say it explicitly, some of his actions were already in line with the standards of a master. Hey you brat. Alright, come over here and let me see if you're hurt anywhere. Wang Feng grabbed Zhou Fu and stretched out his hand to poke a few spots on his body. Wow, not bad. Your qi and blood are vigorous and flowing smoothly. You don't look like you had a fierce battle yesterday. Wang Feng was surprised by Zhou Fu's reaction. According to the steward's report, this brat had almost destroyed Guiyun Temple. But now it seemed that he was fine. He had been excited for nothing. Brat, tell me about what happened last night. Zhou Fu nodded. Then, he told Wang Feng about what happened last night. As Wang Feng listened, he frowned. Walking corpse. Black-robed man. Black fog. There was also that chart of the wise king and the immovable fundamental seal on the table. Every single one of these things was abnormal, let alone appearing in a chain. Wang Feng stretched out his hand and rubbed the immovable fundamental seal. He didn't open it. Controlling corpses, body can transform between black fog, extreme cold. Wang Feng repeated some key words. As he spoke, he sized up Zhou Fu. You're so powerful now? I can roughly guess what happened to the black-robed man, but I don't understand you. What's wrong with me? Looking at the confused Zhou Fu, Wang Feng laughed. What's wrong with you? Logically speaking, that black-robed man should have been able to kill you easily. But not only are you fine, you even almost killed him. That's amazing. Hee, I'm just SOSO. Zhou Fu grinned. Maybe that person's strength was too weak and he didn't train well enough. He couldn't even hurt my skin, let alone the rest. Wang Feng's face was strange. He wanted to ask something, but in the end, he didn't. He took out a black and red wooden tablet and threw it to Zhou Fu. You're talented. I don't understand this kind of talent, but I know that Heong City can't keep you here. If you go out in the future and want to learn more, you can go to Heaven Yuan Sec's Humble Peak. That was my sect. Zhou Fu took the wooden tablet. On the front, there was a big word humble. On the back, there were some strange patterns. Heaven Yuan Sect? I'll remember it. Wang Feng was a bit nervous after giving out the wooden tablet, but when he saw Zhou Fu accept it, a smile appeared on his face. You don't have to worry about that black-robed man. Don't go out of the city in the future. They won't come in. Uncle Feng, so I don't have to leave the city in the future? Wang Feng rolled his eyes. Brat, do you only have talent in martial arts? Seeing Zhou Fu smile embarrassedly, he continued, They will leave in 2 months at most. During this time, you just stay in the city obediently. Yes, I got it. All right. Wang Feng stood up and pointed at the immovable fundamental seal. This is your opportunity, so I won't look at it. Also, if you get these things in the future, don't show them to anyone, no matter how close you are to them. Not even your father. Yes, I'll remember it. Okay, I'll go now. Have a good rest. As for the movement art, don't worry about it. Once you improve your rolling stone palm, I'll teach you the movement art. Okay. Uncle Feng, take care. Seeing Wang Feng walk out of the courtyard, Zhou Fu grinned. That means I'll have the movement art in 15 days? 15 days was still too late. Thus, he thought of a certain lowly. Oh, young Master Zhou, you're here. Miss Yu was talking about you this morning. Oh? Is that so? Of course. The servant from Sweet Osmanthus restaurant had a flattering smile on his face. What a coincidence. I also missed you this morning. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, young Master Zhou, please come in. Lotus Garden. Just as Zhou Fu stepped into the room, a soft voice sounded. Oh, young Master Zhou. The soft and squishy rice ball instantly turned into a thorny chrysanthemum. Little fatty, why aren't you cultivating the technique I gave you at home? Why are you here? Yu who had completed a face-changing achievement, crossed her legs and swung them in the air. I have something to ask of you, big sister Yu. As the saying goes, if you have a request, you have to act like you're asking for help. Learning skills was not shameful. At that moment, the smile on Zhou Fu's face was quite similar to the one on the servant's face. The lowly's interest was instantly piqued. Being a teacher was a common problem for most people, and this lowly was no exception. Tell me about it. Maybe I'll tell you. Although she said that, the lowly's expression said, Hurry up and tell me. Hurry up and tell me. Zhou Fu shamelessly poured a cup of water for her, and put it down with both hands. I wonder if Miss Yu can teach me a movement art. Huh? Little fatty, you want to learn a movement art? Please recommend and support this newbie.